You're watching the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent Austen Show.
That I ordered, or somebody else did. Instead, it's for Kentucky Derby Day 2024. We have reached the weekend, and should be a lot of fun over the next couple of days if you like horse racing or if you like big events. And we got ourselves an event right here as well. Bet St Augustine, come on down till 1 o'clock and really all day long after that, because it's going to be a busy, fun couple of days here at Bet St Augustine and the other locations as well in Jacksonville and Orange Park, because Derby Day is a big day. And welcome to the show, everybody. Brent Austen on a Friday. We love hanging out here. We've been here a bunch of times now, usually on Fridays, and this one a little bit different. We've got a bigger crew here. We've got a buffet being set up, a little brunch with Brent Austen that will begin at about 11 o'clock. We know some folks are coming in that 11 o'clock hour, and the door's just opening up here at Bet St Augustine. So don't feel like you're left out if you don't come in right away. In fact, we didn't really want you here right away. We'd like you here a little bit more later in the morning. And around the lunchtime. And we've got little giveaways and shirts and prizes and things like that. So you're either taking some home for Ronan or people are coming to get them. I don't know which one.
No, without I'm definitely taking some home for Ronan because he was asking for, is there going to be any stuff there? And I go, yeah, buddy, I got you, no problem. I'm going to be honest, coming off of a fight where I maybe lost some people some money, my comments were pretty, heated. Nothing compared to the comments that I saw this morning in terms of you and your philosophy of staying at a restaurant past the closing time.
Yeah, I got some heat.
People feel a certain type of way about this.
Yeah, I do. They do. That is pretty well. There was one person that felt a certain way about it, most likely.
Well, I mean, I had 4 or 5 different people in the mentions talking about it. So a very polarizing topic that I never thought we'd even go there in terms of how long do you stay at a restaurant.
Which was really kind of funny, actually, because yesterday I was at a restaurant at about, 10 o'clock again last night. And this one was open till later, though.
Okay, good.
This is more bar. See, I almost sent a picture.
About those Waffle House hours, Brent.
Yeah, not really a Waffle House, but
well,
I almost sent a picture out like, hey, at least I'm not closing this one down.
There we go.
It's early here.
Yeah.
Brent Barton, Austin Lane, Brent Austen Show, Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. You can find it on ActionNewsJacks.com and the Action News Jacks app. Once again, a full weekend with Miller and Moulton kicking us off each and every day, which has been fun. And later today on the network, by the way, we'll have a replay of Cup Date with Stuart Weber, a week with Action Sports Jacks with Olivia Tassley, and then No Gate Fees, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC at 2 o'clock, talking high school baseball and softball. Congrats to all the district champions as well, and others that have continued to advance in the playoffs. I did hear this, by the way, if you're into high school baseball and softball, that it looks like a couple of rainouts around the state could delay the actual pairings announcement and regional announcement of some teams waiting on those at-large bids. But won't come out now, I think, until Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, at least in the softball world. And maybe that's region by region, but it looks like it's going to hold off until the weekend a little bit. In the rear view is the NFL draft. It doesn't seem like one of the topics I have today about the Jags, doesn't seem like the NFL is high on the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. Looks like they've taken a little bit of a wait-and-see approach around the country.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you talk about the national perspective of any NFL team, NFL pundits, they love to find that dark horse. They love to find that sleeper, and they love to point their finger and say, hey, see, I told you this team was going to be legit this year. And I felt like the Jaguars were supposed to be that team last year. Obviously coming off of a miraculous playoff run, coming from behind against the Chargers, taking the Kansas City Chiefs to the limit. There was a lot to like about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think a lot of, national folks kind of got on board with that. Well, then obviously, you have the Houston Texans are the talk of the town, the talk of the AFC South, with the emergence of C.J. Stroud. So now all of a sudden the Jaguars take a back seat, and they're not that sexy kind of sleeper team anymore. So I'm not surprised. I've definitely felt it, though, in terms of, you're not getting talked about a lot. But once again, you kind of have to earn that.
Yeah, are we missing something, I guess? Are they right? I mean, we feel like this is a pretty good roster, a team that should be able to match up with others. Now, whether they do it or not, that's a different story. I mean, I love how people assume, like, you talk positive about a team or a roster or this or that, and you're like, well, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Have we watched enough of the NFL? Like, I mean, we know every year things change. People go in and out. Some teams have injuries. Some teams just don't play as well. Others surprise. Like, I think we ignore that part of it, even though we know it. We just ignore it and just kind of put everything into one pile and like, oh, well, the Jags are good. That means they're going to win the division. They're going to win the Super Bowl. No, that's not really it for me. I think they can beat anybody, though, in the National Football League with their roster. I mean, now they're going to have to go do it, but I like their roster. I like how they match up. I like what they have, and we'll see how it unfolds with some of their new pieces and some of their the new play caller and defense with Ryan Nielsen, and then obviously whatever they decide to do on offense. Like, all that stuff's cool. But, like, there was a power ranking that got this thing going a little bit. 26th in the National Football League had the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And this is just a team power ranking or like draft?
Yeah, it was a team power ranking.
Gotcha. Yeah.
26th?
I mean that's obviously way too low. But
I mean, Jags have gone 2-14 and been higher than 26.
No, without a doubt. I think it's all about that recency bias, right? Like, the last thing that we remember about this team is losing in Tennessee. Yes, you've added a lot of pieces. You've added Eric Armstead. You know, you've added Gabe Davis. Obviously had a draft now with Brian Thomas Jr. Trevor Lawrence hopefully can stay upright this year. Like, there's a lot of things to like, but once again, from the national perspective, it's the recency bias. And the last memory you have of this Jaguars team is losing in Tennessee to a team who you shouldn't have lost to.
If you were on this football team, if you were in this locker room, how confident would you feel about winning the AFC South, getting 10-11 wins, being a contender? Like, you obviously you're a little bit inside a bubble, right? You like what you have. You probably inflate your self-worth a little bit as a football team anyway. That's a good place to be. I think if you're not confident, who the hell else is going to be confident in you? I get it. But how would you feel right now in Jacksonville, some 5 months away from the start of the season, about what you have?
I mean, if I'm a player in that locker room, it's obvious. I feel like I can win a division. I mean, there wasn't a year that I played in the NFL where the talks, going into the OTAs or going into training camp was, hey, we're going to win a division. Like, that's the mentality, that's the mindset you have. So as far as anybody in that building, yeah, expectations are put up before you. You have to win the division. Now, if we're talking about the fan base, if we're talking about just where I sit, obviously, I think it's the Houston Texans until further notice. And I know they have to prove themselves again. I know C.J. Stroud's got to do a repeat of what he did last year. I get all of that. But I just think that the way that they've constructed their roster, the upgrades that they've made, and once again, I think C.J. Stroud could play the same, if not better than he did last year. I think there's a lot to like about the Houston Texans.
Yeah, and I think that's some of it, right? Is that maybe part of where the Jags are kind of dismissed because of Houston's success and their rise? They've become a little bit of the darling, kind of like the Jags were coming out of 2022. Mm-hmm. And it does feel like that. And when you're in their own division, that can kind of slide you down a little bit. I am a little surprised at the love Indianapolis is getting. A lot of folks think that roster is very good and set to go. But the mystery that I have there is Anthony Richardson. Like, you can love the talent, but you have zero idea if that guy can play in the NFL. I mean, we had zero idea if he could play in the NFL when he came out, was drafted top 5 overall. He didn't play well in college, and I like the kid. There's a lot to like about him. The physical traits are there, but we have zero idea how good he's going to be in the NFL.
So we have zero idea, but I think it's very telling also, though, that Indianapolis was to have a lot of success with Gardner Minshew, because we've had Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville. You know what he gives you. And one would think, I think anybody would think, that Anthony Richardson, fully healthy and another year under his belt, is probably going to perform better than Gardner Minshew does. And if that's the case, well, then, yeah, you have a roster that can make the playoffs. You have a roster who, they brought back a lot of their pieces. And if AR can come out and do his thing, the Colts could be a tough team, could be a tough out.
Yeah, I mean, he is certainly the little wild card there. I mean, if he does play well, then he could be really good. It's just going to be interesting to see if he can do that and how immediate. It's his rookie year all over again. Nice sitting back and they might have got the benefit of sitting him. Where I think they thought they might anyway with Gardner Minshew coming in, but then they played him right away instead. they might have got actually the benefit of, okay, here, get a taste of it, but now you're going to go sit, you're going to rehab. Nobody wants to get hurt. But this could work out better for an Indianapolis down the road.
Well, I mean, it could work out better. I think that the more games, the more experience you get, the better. But at the end of the day, I think he learned some valuable lessons in the NFL. And obviously, the biggest lesson is if you're going to be a dual threat guy, because he is, that's why he was brought to Indianapolis, you got to be able to go down. You got to be able to avoid that contact. I know the ego inside you said, I'm a big dude, I can lower my shoulder, I can get a couple more yards here. But you got to remember, if you're Anthony Richardson, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
So the Jacksonville Jaguars picked by some to not do so great, and that would be disappointing around here. That's a little bit of our topic today. National media slighting maybe the Jags a shade, although I did see some of the grades. Does anybody give less than a B grade or a B- grade in the draft? Like, did anybody get like a C? Am I the worst grader by far?
The 33rd team was not kind to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I just saw the 33rd, well, at least an article I saw on the 33rd team had them as a B. But they have a bunch of different people.
Yeah. I thought it was like a D or something.
Wow, they didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Which means you don't like Brian Thomas either.
Yeah.
If you're giving it a D, you don't like Brian Thomas. I can see the rest of that class be like, all right, what do you got for me?
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of why I have it as a C. Mm-hmm. But Brian Thomas, if you don't, I haven't seen too many people not like the Brian Thomas pick. Have you?
No, I haven't either. Especially trading back to get him. I think he fell to them. I think there's a lot to like about Brian Thomas. I like the LSU pedigree. I like the size. I like the speed. I like the route tree. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to Brian Thomas whatsoever.
Could there be a downside of him other than you should have taken somebody else? I mean, obviously, it's a downside of a player, but I'm just saying, given their situation where they wanted Ridley back to be able to get Brian Thomas, right? The fact that Zay Jones is now gone, and you get younger at that position, you get dynamic at that position, you have bodies at that position that could perform, skill sets, like all these things that we are positive about. But are we missing something?
I mean, I think the thing about Brian Thomas is how much experience does he have?
Yeah, no.
He doesn't necessarily have a lot, because I think this last year was like his full season. So you bring a guy who, obviously blew the doors off at LSU, helped Jane Daniels do his thing, but might have a little inexperience in terms of, playing the wide receiver at a very high level. I mean, you can make an argument for that. Like, I'm not in that boat, but I'm just saying, if you're trying to nitpick things of what Brian Thomas Jr. may falter on a little bit, those could be one of the things.
Yeah. Brian Thomas Jr., does he have to be... Is maybe that the downside? Does he have to be the number one? Does that guy on the outside have to be labeled the number one? Again, we've asked this about Christian Kirk. Like, he puts up number one type of stuff. He feels like he does number one type of stuff for you. But are we going to label Brian Thomas the guy that has to be number one? Is the outside world going to do that too? And then it will be tough to live up to maybe immediately.
No, I mean, if we label Brian Thomas Jr. number one his rookie year, then we're saying he's got to have more catches than Christian Kirk. He's got to have more catches than Evan Ingram. He's got to have more yards than those guys, more touchdowns. I'm not going to put that much pressure on Brian Thomas Jr. Like, it'd be one thing if you're going to the Cardinals where you need a one receiver because everything else is kind of, mundane. But when you come to Jacksonville, we have weapons on every level. Then I can go ahead and say, you know what, man? Like, yeah, we need you to contribute. We need your big frame in the red zone. We need all this stuff. But we're not going to expect 1,500 yards from you, 10 touchdowns your rookie year.
Yeah, I think that expectation would not be good. Hey, a couple things in. Just saw the Ospreys were at the UNF the other day, beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Had coach on, and they were able to beat Chattanooga this morning in the NCAA tournament.
Chattanooga's got beaches over there?
Yeah.
Doubt it. Let's go, UNF.
Nick in the daytime, Nick in noon. What about that Chattanooga?
They technically do.
Sorry,
have a
bud.
beach, though.
They do, huh?
In Chattanooga?
Yeah. It's Chester Frost. It's like a fake beach, but there is one up there.
It's a fake beach.
A fake beach. Gotcha.
Hey, well, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you get on the river.
I'm not going to hate on Chattanooga, man. I used to make that drive all the time going back to Murray State from Jacksonville, so it's all good. I'm not hating on Chattanooga.
Chattanooga's a good place.
Yeah.
And they just lost to UNF, so that's the update there, 3-0. So nice job. Ospreys will turn around and play number one in the country, USC, in the NCAA tournament.
A lot of beaches in California.
A lot of beaches in California. That would be a little bit tougher, I think. But still, first ever win for UNF beach volleyball, so congratulations to them. If you're a big fan of the Kentucky Derby, which I am, today is Kentucky Oaks Day, and start handicapping the horses in the slop. because some run better in the slop and some don't.
Yeah.
But it's sloppy in Kentucky.
Bring out the mutters, Brent.
Yeah, the mutters. It seems to rain all the time at the Kentucky Derby. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's due to rain tomorrow. I have to check my handicapping. But I do think we'll venture into, if you had to pick a horse tomorrow,
yeah,
you got to pick one. And I'll tell you who's on the docket.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just be honest with you. I pick my horses just based off name alone.
Well, that's it.
I don't care about, their bloodlines, who their mom was, who their dad was, their genetics. Just give me a good name.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were going to do.
Of course, man.
That's kind of what most of us do.
And I'm looking forward to breaking down some of these names later on in the show, man.
Yeah.
I think we actually have like a little tier system in terms of how we feel about these horses' names.
We will. Horse names can be very good or bad.
Or horrible.
It's a kind of a different version of Friday Fits.
Yeah.
If you will. NBA, NHL playoffs kind of heat up. Oh, the Bruins. Oh, Toronto, here they come.
Yeah.
Bruins fans are nervous as heck.
Bruins fans are nervous as heck. I would caution Bruins fans, though. This is the Toronto Maple Leafs, okay? We've seen this story before. Bieber's going to make a post or something. Drake's going to say something on Twitter and is going to, obviously the Maple Leafs will probably lose, but very impressive last night from the Maple Leafs. Down really their best player in Austin Matthews, one of the best players in the NHL. And I forgot who said it, but this is early on in the year. So if you know about the Maple Leafs, Brent, they kind of retooled their roster a little bit and decided to go a little more. I compare it to like what the Florida Panthers did and bringing more of like let's call it like a piss and vinegar kind of style. You know what I'm saying? Like getting your face a little more. And you saw that last night from the Maple Leafs. So an impressive showing. A little bit of an upset, you can say, without Austin Matthews, but Game 7 taking place back in Boston, I believe, and we'll see what happens with that.
All right. Well, we will take a time out here and talk a little bit more about that, including the Knicks advancing. There's some good series in the NBA that actually went 4-1, but were better than maybe the outcome was. It felt like a rout, but not really. So, for instance, I think the Lakers and Nuggets series, right? There was a 5-game set, so 4-1 Denver, but I think the total point differential was like 11 points. Yep. The Sixers and Knicks kind of felt like that, too.
Yeah, and then you have the Heat and the Celtics are just like,
yeah. And,
what are you going to do?
And no Bucks t-shirt. Put it on hold.
Oh, I mean, hey.
What are you going to do?
We saw that coming from a mile away, man.
All right, let's take a break, and we come back. We're live at Best Bet St. Augustine. By the way, buying a Superfecta ticket if you come out. Plus, we got brunch and shirts and giveaways and things like that. And we will hear from you if you want to join us until 1 o'clock. Doors just opened here at Best Bet St. Augustine. Good to be down here. Kentucky Derby weekend. It's going to be a big weekend here at Best Bet St. Augustine. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part, they did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnicht Buick GMC. My family and the Nimnicht family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnicht Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnicht Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids. Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains and no payments for 90 days. Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program. Nimnicht Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Thank you for making Action News Jax the best in Jax and Folio's Best of Jax 2023. Best TV station, Best TV newscast, Best TV morning show. Chandler Morgan voted Best TV anchor. The Chief, Mike Burrish, voted Best meteorologist. And Brent Martineau voted Best TV sports anchor. And while you're on the go, Best news website and Best local blog, The Burrish Blog. Thank you for making Action News Jax local coverage you can count on.
It's a new logo, new branding, but with Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. And with that comes the perks we miss in the big business world. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained. And they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. The folks at Bold City Heating and Air also know your AC unit is important and can be a big expense. That's why they have financing to help. No payments, no interest for 12 months on new systems. $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown. Bold City Heating and Air.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back to Bet St Augustine. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Brent and Austen Show here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Setting up a buffet here. It's going to be pretty good. Hope you saved your appetite. Now you don't have you're not on a strict regimen.
No,
you can eat.
No, I mean I could always eat, but yeah, I'm going to be a little more. Let's just say freewheeling now of how I choose to handle my carbs.
That's right. By the way, you got a big game this weekend, right? A little semifinal flag football.
Big game, semifinal flag football.
Coach Lane?
I'm just chilling. Spectator lane.
Oh, spectator.
Spectator lane. Yeah. So had good practice last night. The guys look focused and ready to roll. little toasty last night, but it's gonna be an early game. 8 o'clock start time. 8 o'clock practice on Saturday, and then a 9 o'clock start time. So gonna be off to bed tonight, Brent, to get focused for that.
No, make sure you get.
Gotta get our 8 hours in, Brent.
Make sure you get good and ready.
Gotta get those 8 hours in.
For that. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane. We got a bunch of the Action Sports Jax and Action News Jax crew here as well, trying some things out there in this live show. With we've got a big monitor over there and other things going on. So come on out, hang out with us until 1 o'clock here at Best Bet St. Augustine. Talking obviously Jags all the time, and we're just talking a little bit about the expectation level. There's another guy that would have been a lot of fun, I think, to have in Jacksonville from a receiver standpoint if they wanted to wait. Now, he went pretty early, but how about the love Keon Coleman is getting? Florida State wide receiver. Yeah. He has been like the darling of the week, I think, around the National Football League. Fun guy.
Very fun guy. Yeah, I mean the viral video of him running on the field, it was in Buffalo, right?
Buffalo,
would have been,
yeah. Back in Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean that's Twitter gold right there, as they call it. listen, like I appreciate. I feel like these kids, and I say kids, I mean, these are grown men coming into the NFL, right? But I feel like they're so much more advanced than even when I came out, right? Like, whether they've had media training, maybe they're just used to being in the spotlight more now with Twitter and social media and everything and the NIL deals. So you have, like, these professional businessmen, it almost seems like, when they do these combine interviews, when they do these draft interviews, all this stuff. But then you have a guy like Coleman who kind of like resets it a little bit, reminds you of, okay, these are still guys playing a ridiculous game, making a lot of money, but it's the same game they played since they were kids. And that's cool to see.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things here that's interesting. Not too many guys can capture you. Buffalo's doing a nice job pushing it out there. There's another thing coming out this morning. It was the snacks. It was the Mike. He had shopping advice from his mom at the news conference. I mean, it's been a whole week of stuff for Keon Coleman, and I think he's a good football player too. I think that part we knew at FSU, but doesn't this say a little bit about the collegiate game that they hide the personalities of these guys? Like, they're not front and center all the time. There's a big football team. I'm not sure that I think a lot of times they protect them. Obviously, it's the coach doing a lot of the speaking. And so, did we know like Keon Coleman had this kind of personality, or do you have to get to the next level? Do you have to start working on your own brand? You're out on your own to be able to be like, hey, this is me. This is who we are. And now we get to learn about you.
I really think it's all depends on your social media. I think there's some players that we know of in college just because they're so active on social media, they're so active with their NIL deals, and it's more power to them. That's extra income that you're making as a college kid. I couldn't imagine making, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in college as a collegiate athlete. I can't fathom it. So I think there's really two schools of thought here. I think there's some guys who want to maximize their NIL deal, make the most money possible. Maybe they put their personalities out there a little more. I think there's some guys who maybe, for whatever reason, want to be a little more reserved and get lost in the sauce, if you will. But obviously, once you get to the NFL, every guy that has a personality is going to get showcased.
Yeah, they do, and he's a fun one, and he's a football junkie too. I think sometimes when you get maybe a little bit of the goofiness, right, or the fun quotes and that kind of conversation, you're like, well, okay, is he a good football player? Like, does he know the game? Is he going to goof off? Like, there's a little bit of a connotation that comes with that. Well, you listen to him in the room. You listen to him. I think I saw him on RG3's podcast, and he was talking about a guy like Jerry and Jones, and the way he was just breaking stuff down, I was like, holy cow, man, this guy's got a ton of football knowledge. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a little bit abnormal. Some guys go out and play. Some guys are really like students of the game. And from that wide receiver position where you're on an island, usually it's a very well-branded position. You can be the prima donna position.
Sure.
But I don't know if you find too many guys that, like, hey, they're the student of the game. He reminds, he kind of shed a little light on that, I think, in the last week.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of students in the game at the wide receiver position. It just gets lost in translation because you have the most probably ego-driven position that there is, set aside from cornerback as well. So sometimes that gets kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit. But listen, it's all fun and games right now, but that guy's got to produce in Buffalo because they don't have a lot of guys besides him right now. So, like I said, it's fun and games in the offseason, but once that season starts, he's got to be we talk about being the one. He's got to be their one.
All right, so I spin that around to ask you about the Jacksonville Jaguars' personality. Do they have? Like, their receiving core to me has been very interesting. I'm not saying just on receiving core. I'm asking about the personality of their team. And do you need a little bit of it? They're very, to me, businesslike, very workmanlike. Their receivers are not prima donnas, really. I mean, they are very mild-mannered, very much leaders. They seem to care more team than individual. They did a nice job of at least looking like they did with the Kirk, the Zay Jones, the Ingrams of the world. And even Brian Thomas coming in, he seems very quiet, almost mild-mannered, low-tempered guy. The Jags don't have these, like, big personalities at the wide receiver spot. Gabe Davis, haven't met him enough to know yet. I think we'll find out a little bit, but that's not the impression I get. Yeah. How about their football team? Is there some personality on this team? And do you need personality?
No.
Does that help with the edge and all those other things?
No, I don't think necessarily you need personality if it's not going to be genuine. I mean, I think, Dewey, I think Andrew Wingard provides a little bit of that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, every locker room's constructed differently, and every locker room is made up of of different personality types. I mean, like, look at, we always say the Ravens. I think around the league there's a lot of respect for the Baltimore Ravens and what they do as an organization. I mean, give me the Ravens' big personality types.
I actually go a little bit to. Does Lamar count here? Because he's a fun, smiling, energetic kind of guy. His play dictates it, too, so maybe I'm kind of hidden by that.
Yeah. I mean,
but I get what you're saying.
Some good sound bites, but, like, I can't set aside from Lamar Jackson, like Mark Andrews. Well, no. Yeah, I mean,
over the years, though, you did have, like, Ray Lewis.
Oh, yeah, you had Ray Lewis. You had Terrell Suggs for a while and everything. But, like, right now, I don't see a lot of, like, me personality types on that team. So I think it goes to show you, if you have the guys that are willing to work, that can lead by example or lead by intensity, whatever the case may be, that's the most important part. Now, if you have some of the fun-loving guys, that's a bonus, that's a plus. But I don't necessarily think it's going to be like the wholeheartedly like the necessary thing. I mean, I remember back when we played, like, we had pot roast. Terrence Knighton. Yeah. And I think Terrence Knighton, when in Denver, I think he won a Super Bowl, correct?
I think he did with
Yeah. I mean, I think Terrence Knighton was a great guy to have in a locker room because he did keep things a little light and fun. And sometimes you need guys like that, especially in a Joe Cullen-led defensive line room where it was always intense. It was always bring your lunch pail and your hard hat. Sometimes you need the instigators. Sometimes you need the guys to make light of everything and make things a little more fun. And I'm not sure, like, on this team in terms of the Jaguars, like, for instance, Rob Gronkowski, prime example. Bill Belichick, right?
Nice offset.
Tough camp, one would assume. Right now, we saw the Aaron Hernandez videos, and it's like, well, how tough was it for some people? But overall, Bill Belichick always ran a tough training camp. Well, then you have Rob Gronkowski, who was Rob Gronkowski, the anti-Belichick, I think, in a lot of ways. But it worked because, once again, sometimes you need those guys to loosen up a little bit and have fun.
Yeah, that's interesting that you bring it up to kind of juxtapose the coach, especially. And funny thing is, Doug has, like, personality. Like, he's not Belichick, right? Yeah. I mean, he's not also going to sit there and tell jokes in front of a microphone, but he's a smiley guy and kind of has a glow to him, if you will. And I think the team has some of that. Like, Trevor has some of that sometimes.
Sure.
But he's also not like this crazy big personality.
No, and once again, it all depends on your team and your team dynamic. I mean, I've told this story before on the show, but my first year with Travis Kelce in the league, with Travis Kelce's first year, and Andy Reid, he would almost pull his hair out sometimes at practice because of Travis Kelce, because of some of the antics that Kelce was doing even as a rookie. I tell a story where we're doing, live basically it was, and it was ones versus twos, and at the time Travis Kelce was a 2, and he gets a touchdown. His first touchdown in, his NFL practice. Punts the ball in the stands. Completely goes out of his way to stop practice. Andy Reid's ticked off, cussing, and this is Andy Reid, the most laid-back guy ever. But, like, there comes a point where it's like, man, you can't be punting the ball into the stands during a practice. So I remember Andy Reid chewing him out and everything, but now you see these guys together, they're laughing. Travis Kelce says, like, how much Andy Reid has helped him in his career, and you see almost like a match made in heaven. Well, it takes time to build that, but once again, I just want to say, sometimes you got to have those instigators. Sometimes you got to have those fun-loving free spirits because it opens things up a little bit.
Yeah, and I always think about on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, obviously, you guys had a little bit. You said Terrence Knighton. I think you guys had a little bit of that when you're on the field. If you go back to 17, you've got guys like Jalen, of course, and Telvin Smith. You might be able to argue you have too much of it at the same time, so there's a healthy balance. But really, if you look at this football team, Josh does not exude that. Again, not bad personality, but he doesn't play that way. He's not loud in front of a microphone. Trayvon Walker, very quiet. Those kind of guys. We'll see about an Eric Armstead. Fourier, quiet. Right? Siskel, very much about his business. Tyson Campbell, very much about his business. I always just find it pretty unique that in the positions that you normally would have these major personalities, the Jags have had very quiet the last few years. I just mentioned wide receiver, and really go to their corners. When Darius Williams and Tyson Campbell are out there, those dudes are the two quietest guys maybe in the locker room at times. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know if it doesn't mean you can't have energy. It just feels like sometimes that personality shifts over. Now, when you win, you kind of feel that personality a little bit more. Maybe too much, like you said about Dewey. That personality really showed up with the terrible towels, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more than maybe it needed to or should have. So I think it's just kind of the way it shapes. I look at the Jags and I say they are very businesslike. more than they are like rah-rah, or like they seem like they'd be kind of a boring team on a championship parade.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not having Travis Kelce
bad.
pounding beers and everything like that. No, and I get
Like,
it.
who's the wild card in the Super Bowl parade?
Good point. Yeah.
Dewey.
Yeah, Dewey.
I mean, we keep coming back to Dewey.
Well, that's why I'm telling, like, I don't wish, divorce on anybody, but if Beyonce ever breaks up with Jay-Z, we need the Beyonce Dewey bump here in Jacksonville. Because you saw it for Kansas City.
That'd be quite a bump.
The biggest bump, one would say, Brent.
That's the biggest.
The biggest bump.
Absolutely.
I mean, you want to get a stadium in here? Let's go.
Hey, we were talking about Keon Coleman. We'll get to ask in about an hour or so. Mike Norvell is scheduled to join us on the show from Tallahassee, and so be good to catch up with Mike Norvell, not only about, obviously, Keon Coleman, but also Jerry and Jones and where he fits into the Jaguars secondary and what he can do at this level. Obviously, a lot of Knowles drafted off that defense, a very good team, and now what's next for Florida State? They have to replace a lot of those players that they lost. That's the good and the bad of it for Mike Norvell and the Florida State Seminoles. So look forward to catching up with the Knowles coach. We are live at Bet St Augustine. Come on down, have some brunch with us. Starts around 11 o'clock or so. We'll be here until 1. Busy couple of days with the Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Oaks starts today. A little sloppy down there. The Kentucky Derby will be tomorrow, and Best Bet St. Augustine will be rocking all weekend. Also can check out Orange Park and Jacksonville locations as well. We're going to take a timeout. Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. When we come back, more football talk, of course. And you thought the B talk was
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Springs, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
I'm Action News Jack's First Alert meteorologist Garrett Beaton. While the sun is up and it's going to be a beautiful day.
Sometimes you just need a day to yourself. And Garrett's First Alert forecast makes sure you're ready to go out and enjoy. Garrett and the Action News Jax This Morning team, helping you start your morning right.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We know that at our home. You can find out as well. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? Well, CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242, cgcwater.com. Financing options are available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Community. That's who we serve.
It's the people. Yeah, it's the people.
Demanding answers because the truth matters.
When are you going to do the job?
Listening and getting help to those who need it.
I just appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
It's about telling stories from deep inside our neighborhoods, informing you, building connections, tracking storms.
Serious storm situation, the kind of which we rarely see.
Holding people accountable.
You were getting at the truth.
That's who we are. Action News Jax.
The friendliest golf course in town, the Golf Club at Southampton. Local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jax Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the pro shop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
A good look at the table games here at Bet St Augustine, and Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane. What game is that? Is that Ultimate? Yeah, it is. The easy one to play is one-card poker, but there's Pai Gow poker. There's other things like, gotta go play those table games. They're a lot of fun. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Bet St Augustine, and we're hanging out here right on Kentucky Derby weekend, of course. I just picked up Superfecta tickets.
Okay.
So basically, I
fill
bought
me in here, Brent. How does this work?
So I bought these for the gift bag. We got shirts. We got some other things from Best Bet. Yeah. And throwing a $2 Superfecta ticket in here. Okay. And so they're kind of random. They're like quick picks, kind of on a lottery ticket. Okay. And so what has to happen here is tomorrow during the Kentucky Derby, where there'll be like a 20-horse field. Yes. You have to finish in this order. Yeah. Whatever the ticket says. Sure. So I don't know. Is there 21 horses or something coming out of the post? But whatever it is, like I always play 2-4-1-5 because that's twins for Kaylee and Ty's birthday. Okay. Right. So I always play those numbers. So I need 2-4-1-5 to hit. Now in the Derby, when that hits as a straight bet, I mean, it might be $40, $50, $60, $80,000. Yeah. So I might be making somebody rich today.
No, absolutely. So, okay, so it says right here. So we have a $2 ticket. Yeah, how much is that going to pay out if you actually win it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't really know.
No, okay.
You don't know until it's really hard math. Okay. But yeah, so like 15, 16, 4, 8 have to come in for that one. Okay. And if that's the case, then we are able to get a big winner. Gotcha. Okay. So these are in the gift bag. Now, somebody's going to have to tell us they're a big winner. Although I do have all the winning combinations right here that I paid for. Okay. So just part
man.
of the fun
and you paid for a bunch of them, it looks like here.
I did. I'm going to try to find out, just so you know. Last year, Kentucky Derby, Superfecta. All right. Let's see. It was a $1 Superfecta. This is a $2 Superfecta.
Let's go.
So the $1 was $321,000.
Yeah, I feel like I should just put a couple of these together. I mean, the odds are obviously insane, but I mean, I got like $20 burning a hole in my pocket right now.
Well, maybe I'll give you one and share.
Yeah, maybe a little presidential picture coming at you. Let's go, man.
So we will see. Olivia Tasley's hanging out with us. Z Fortner's here. He picked up his money, his winnings.
Yeah.
On his way down. We're going to get him in front of Mike. We're just going to put him on the microphone. We're going to try this out because why not? We can try it out. So
I think we're trying a lot because I can't hear anything right now. So we're trying a lot of things.
Yeah, I think engineers are trying to screw with us as much as possible.
I love it, man.
But Z Fortner, remember we roasted his bracket.
Yeah,
the bracket contest.
I probably wasn't the most kind. I think he had Florida in the finals, if I'm not mistaken.
He might have, but we thought
it was a sleeper team.
So the idea here, he was the people's bracket.
The people's bracket.
And we thought we were killing him. Then he came back. He actually beat me.
Yeah.
Now, if he beat us all, he would have been, really rolling in the dough.
So you're welcome on that part because I had UConn. So
yes, but we appreciate you
saving
beating
some money.
Yeah. Or you would have ponied up. But let's get Z Fortner on right now. He's hanging out with us, picked up his winnings, got a new gift bag here as well. Might even have some brunch with us. What's up, man? Yeah, thanks for being here with us. This works. We had no idea if that microphone would actually work when we well, I had full confidence in you guys, Wax and Sesnick. But so what's happening, man? They got a little staycation this weekend, huh?
Yeah, heading down to St. Augustine. So, celebrating the wife's birthday and getting a bunch of friends together. So
your wife's birthday, too. My wife's birthday's today. At least you're doing something for yours.
See, am I the first person to ask you if you're even related to Luke Forner or not?
I've been getting that a lot lately. It's been tough, but I have a Luke Forner jersey. I don't know if I'll be wearing it next year, but yeah, it's tough right now.
You could have brought that as part of the giveaways today here on the show. Hey, what do you think of the Jags draft?
Overall, I liked it. I kind of felt like in the second round, I feel like Balky should have tried to trade up and get a corner. Thankfully we got the Florida State guy in the third round, but I really felt like once Cooper DeJean went, you kind of saw the run on the corners, and I feel like he should have jumped up and got one there. But overall it's pretty good. There's a lot to like, so I'm happy with it.
All right. Not a lot of national love we're talking about today for the Jags. I mean, how confident are you going into the season here with the Jaguars in 2024?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty confident. I mean, I just put a bet down on the Jags winning the division. So,
okay. There we go.
Hopefully that comes to fruition. But, I'm feeling pretty good. I think the Texans got a lot of hype right now. And they do have that first place schedule, which I think is going to be a little tough on them. So, I think we have a good opportunity to take the division back.
I think a big story this offseason here, Z Forner, is the fact of Trevor Lawrence and he's getting another contract or not. Do you think Trevor Lawrence deserves a contract right now? Or if you're Shad Khan, if you're rolling in the Bucs, if you're on that Kismet right now, are you going to give him another year to try to prove himself?
I mean, I believe Trevor's the guy, so I don't have any issues with him getting a contract now. I have kind of weighed the pros and cons of, whether we should wait or not. But,
yeah.
I feel like if we pay him now, it's not going to be a mistake. We're not going to regret it. So, let's go ahead and take care of him and, just plan for the future around that.
Just because Brent gave you $100 doesn't mean you have to echo him. No sense. But okay, fantastic, man. Great.
Z Forner, one more thing for you, because you just sounded like a GM right there. That's the way you answered that question.
Yeah.
So I've got this question for fans sometimes. Do you fancy yourself as you're dissecting the Jags more as a GM or a coach? So do you pick apart the player personnel or the actual plays and scheme and everything else? Where do you fall?
For me, I guess I kind of think of it more as like a GM. Always kind of looking not only this year but for the future as well. So you're always kind of thinking years ahead.
Yeah, that makes some sense. And probably most fans think that way, Austin, because fantasy football. That's kind of what they're doing, right? They're putting together their roster now, and you kind of think, hey, this is the way it should go. The only thing about all of us and the fans is our job's not on the line.
No, this is true. I mean, but maybe there's some pride or something on the line, some money on the line.
Yeah.
Talking about fantasy football.
Well, Z Forner, happy birthday to your wife. Thanks for stopping by here. You got your prize pack, get your giveaway, stay for some brunch, then head down for the weekend. And that Superfecta ticket, if you do win, please come back and give us some.
Please.
For sure. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks for hanging out with us and listening to the show and watching Brent Austen Show here on the Action Sports Shack's 24/7 network. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane. It is, we love rip and play calling.
Of course.
But I do think most fans think of themselves probably as the player personnel side of things.
Yeah. As the GM a little more.
Yeah, I do think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, but make no mistake about it, I feel like the people that get the most hate on Twitter are the players. Like, if a player messes up a play, they're then trending. Like,
yeah,
I don't see, like, because of a bad loss, like for instance, the San Fran game. Like, that was kind of an embarrassment.
Yeah, it was.
Right? I was at that one. I didn't see Trent Baalke trending after that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, okay, I disagree with you here a little bit. Because I believe, I argue this a lot. It's like the players are on the field. I think it's a player's game.
Exactly.
And I think coaches get a ton of the grief.
Okay.
I think Press Taylor is a great example of it. It's kind of my argument to defend Press Taylor, because you look at all these clips around social media and it's like, hey, they could have had that play, could have had that play, could have had that play. Are those bad play calls? No, that's bad execution. That's players. But after Sunday, like, I think on Sunday, players get criticized.
Exactly.
But after Sunday, I think it's all on the coach. It, like, immediately shifts. The blame game goes to Doug or Press or Mike Caldwell or Baalke or everybody else. And I think for the remainder of that week, until you play again, I think the players are kind of off the hook.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the players get the most hate on Sundays. And like I said, I mean, after a game, it's the players. Like, this guy sucks. This guy can't do his job. Yada, yada, yada. And then through the week, then it falls on to the coaches and sometimes the GMs. But you know why it falls on the coaches? Because it's the coach's job to prepare the players for the week.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, the players aren't preparing them. Like, there's mental preparation, physical preparation, but, like, it's the coach's job to get the players ready to play. And, like, that San Fran game, a lot of those games towards the end of the season, you know, whether it's, the Bengals, especially on the Jaguars defense, whether it's the Titans game, the players weren't ready to play, it looked like.
Yeah. I actually think when you lose like that in the NFL, you can really go on the coaches. It's a little bit of everything, right? I mean, I'm not even sure of like a player that played good in that game against the San Francisco, against the 49ers. Going back to that one. The Titans seems more on the defensive side, players and coaches getting ready. Yeah, you're right. That's probably why Mike Caldwell got let go. I think that's what ends up happening. But sometimes you just have a complete dud and it's on everybody. But the guy, if you take one person, it's probably two people that got the ire of the fan base most of 2023, specifically in the last 6 weeks when things started going poorly.
Yeah.
And it would be Press Taylor and probably Luke Forner. Would those be the two guys that got the most heat? Like the defenders who did not play well the last 6 weeks. I don't remember those guys getting a lot of heat.
I mean, I remember the defense getting a lot of heat for getting up 150 yards per game. Yeah.
Yeah, like But I don't think you could pinpoint it on somebody. That's the problem. When you don't get 3rd and 1, you're not seeing a push. Well, now you're saying, okay, that's the center's problem. You're seeing them blown up a little bit. Sure. On defense, it was, Josh and Trayvon are doing their thing. Yeah. Nobody's really specifically saying whose problem on the interior. Rayshon Jenkins, who I didn't think played well at all against the Tennessee Titans for some reason, was really not good. Like, I don't really think anybody was hammering just him.
Yeah, I mean, the what I remember from, like, that streak of just, inept play was more of the interior push of the defensive line and really the interior in general. And I think that was a big reason why the interior was such a big talk this offseason.
Yeah. The blame game is interesting.
I mean, the blame game is always going to be interesting, but I say this all the time with great teams. Great teams everyone's going to have a bad game. Right? It's just the way the NFL works. Everyone's going to have that game where it's like, well, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
You guys are supposed to be in Super Bowl contention, and you drop the ball like that? Like, every team is going to have at least one of those games, mark my words. But The great teams have those games and then rebound, and then you're off to the races again. We saw what the Jaguars were. They had a bad game. You lost Cincinnati, and then it just compiled on itself, and it snowballed, and it got worse and worse and worse. And yeah, you got a little gift from Carolina, but it's the Carolina Panthers. What is that really saying? And then it was back to being kind of bad again. So that, to me, echoes everything right there. Now, whether it's the players' fault where they're not playing to their full potential, that's fine. But then at some point, you got to blame the culture. You have to blame the coaches and say, well, what are you allowing to happen? Why is it the same thing week in and week out?
Yeah, I think a little bit of that. What's fascinating about what you're saying that is San Francisco lost 3 games in a row at one time last year, and then still was able to rebound and then go on a run. And it started actually with the Jags. I think they had lost 3 in a row going into that game. Mm-hmm. And then you take somebody like Kansas City, who had kind of like plodded along during the regular season, and you go to that Christmas Day game. It's like, what's going on? They're done. Right? Yeah. And then they're able to actually play their best ball at the end of the year. So you have to have the ability to rebound, you're right, to kind of fix it, which was what was kind of astonishing about the Jags. Because for 6 weeks at the end, like Mike Caldwell couldn't figure it out. Like the same problems they were having against Cincinnati, they had 4 weeks later against the Tampa Bay Bucks, in my opinion. And then the effort was gone against the Tennessee Titans. The focus, the concentration, the everything that you needed to win that game.
And keep in mind, those 3 games against San Francisco, where Cleveland beat them 19-17, then the Vikings beat them 22-17, and then the Bengals kind of whooped them 31-17. I mean, 2 of those games were pretty competitive.
Yeah, and I think one in like the last moment too, yeah.
I mean, so some of these Jaguars games towards the end wasn't really competitive.
That's a good point. No, it wasn't. You're right. Yeah, it was a different look when they were losing those kind of games. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to ask you about this. Did Doug Peterson get enough blame last year? Because, again, I said Press Taylor's the guy that drew all the ire. Mm-hmm. But I think it's on Doug this year. I tweeted last night coming off our show when you were talking about play calling again. It continues to be a topic. I think it is the topic of the offseason. I think play calling, what happens in that, whether it's Press, whether it's Doug, whether it's good, whether it's bad. When we look at it from January X to the end of the 2024 season, or maybe by the middle, we might know. But I think we're going to come back to 2024, the biggest topic of the Jags season, off-season, calendar year, however you want to phrase it, was play calling and what they determined to do with it. Doug, Press, keep it the same, collaboration, how did it work out? The results will dictate it. But did Doug even get enough, I guess, blame from a year ago during that 6-game run? Or did we just put it on guys like Press Taylor, Luke Forner, Mike Caldwell, and the rest? We're live at Bet St Augustine, and Kentucky Derby weekend is here. Come on down. We're exit 311 right off of 95. A wonderful facility, brand new here in the last year or so, and a great place to play the table games, play some poker, a little pari-mutuel with the horse racing each and every day, but especially on Kentucky Oaks Day and Kentucky Derby Day. Full bar, full menu, and we got a little brunch and giveaways and a lot of fun here on this Friday, heading into a nice weekend in early May. We'll be right back here on the Brent Austen Show. In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
Soccer season is back in Northeast Florida with the return of the Jacksonville Armada under-23 men's team. The boys in blue kick off the National Premier Soccer League season on the road Saturday, May 4th at Naples United FC, with all eyes on the home opener May 11th against Global Soccer Pathways. All home games in the 2024 regular season will be played at Southern Oak Stadium on the campus of Jacksonville University, with fans able to secure their tickets at JacksonvilleArmada.com. New this summer, the Fleet has added an under-23 women's team competing in the WPSL. That season starts on the road on May 18th, with their home opener May 25th, also at Jacksonville University. To learn more on the Armada's recent partnership announcement with Jacksonville FC and the MLS Next program, as well as a fun collaboration with Ruby Beach Brewing, be sure to follow the Fleet on social media at Jax Armada FC.
What a week for the UNF Ospreys, swooping to some championships. Men's tennis last week, and over the weekend, it was beach volleyball celebrating a title. The Ospreys men's golf team is headed to the NCAA regionals as well, and the River City Rumble is in the books for the 2023-2024 athletic year. And the Ospreys are keeping the barrel. A lot to follow heading into May. You can do that at unfospreys.com for news, schedules, results, and more. unfospreys.com.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One-card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part? They did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
Welcome back to the Brent Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
How about JU women's lacrosse tied at 9 with under 10 seconds to go, and they were able to get the win in the ASUN semis yesterday over Liberty, and they will play tomorrow for an ASUN championship. Congratulations to the JU women's lacrosse team. That's some pretty good excitement there. 9-9, right. And scored with like 6.5 seconds to go in that game. Softball and baseball seasons in college starting to wind down. Obviously lacrosse as well. Same goes for high school. We have plenty of lacrosse action tomorrow in Jacksonville. In fact, Bowles will play at home. Ponte Vedra also in a regional final game, so both trying to go to the Final Four in their respective classifications. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, back at Best Bet St. Augustine, and hanging out here with everybody on our Action Sports Jacks team. And, well, you can come down as well. We'll be here until 1 o'clock. News is, by the way, the no bracket release, according to this in from Birthday Steph.
Okay.
For high school baseball and softball. So if you're checking in and waiting on that and getting a lot of texts about that, how do you find it? Where is it? Those are not going to come out now until tomorrow. I think in both baseball and softball. I know softball because of some rain outs. There was like one rain out or something across the state. And so that's not coming out. And I think the same is now going to happen in baseball. So there must have been some rain in the area or somewhere in Florida, which probably is pretty simple to have. And the games couldn't get done in time to have the release. So look for that. Coming out on Saturday now. You're going to have to wait another day to find out if you're an at-large team and who you're playing in next week's state tournament in high school baseball and softball. Before the break, I asked how much blame for Doug Peterson from last year was Press Taylor, was Luke Fortner's of the world, were the injuries, or even, Trevor. Did they insulate Doug a little bit from getting as much blame as maybe he should have had? We've given him a lot of credit over the last couple of years, especially me. I've been a big Doug Peterson cheerleader.
No, of course.
But how do you see it?
No, I mean, I've been kind of adamant about it, saying I think this is a big year for Doug Peterson. I don't want to say it's a hot seat or anything, but it could be getting a little warmer. And I think a big reason of that is because just what this team looked like towards the end of the year. And once again, I think that if it starts to snowball, it's on coaching, it's on culture to try to turn that around. It's not like we're talking about the Carolina Panthers here where the writing was on the wall. You knew what you were getting at the Carolina Panthers, probably really going to make a dent in the NFC South. The Jaguars had expectations to win the division, to go to the playoffs. And those expectations weren't reached. So, yes, that comes down to culture. And you know how I feel about culture, Brent. Starts with coaching.
Yeah, it's... try to think, how do you feel then about, is that the same way you would say about Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia? Do you think that was part of it? I mean, that's a team that went to the Super Bowl, and you would say, okay, culture good. And then you would say, okay, they collapsed down the stretch. Culture bad. I mean, you got a great leader in Jalen Hurts, apparently. Yeah. So, it's the same team that you're, giving a lot of flowers to, not you, but everybody giving a lot of flowers to. And then, on the other side, it happens the wrong way.
Yeah, definitely happened the wrong way, but at the same time, I mean, we give Trevor Lawrence the pass, then I give Jalen Hurts the pass. Jalen Hurts was hurt last year. Yeah. He had some serious injuries and that he tried to play through. So I think if your starting quarterback is extremely banged up and can't produce 100%, I think that's going to hurt your team.
Yeah, so you kind of put a lot on Peterson. You said it a bunch this year. I mean, how much is he on? It's not really a hot seat, right? I mean, could it get warm? I mean, are they together in this, him and Balky, or is it going to be the link to Press Taylor that did him in against the Eagles? I mean, with the Eagles, we talk about this play calling. That seems to be kind of like this common thread: play calling, Press, Doug, Philadelphia, here in Jacksonville. There's this common weave when you criticize what has gone wrong for Doug as a head coach.
I mean. And I don't want to speak bad juju out into existence here, but let's just, for the sake of this argument, let's just say that the Jaguars win 9 games. They don't go to the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence plays like a top 15 quarterback. Has decent numbers. There's not an injury excuse. For whatever reason, doesn't click. Then what are we talking about this offseason?
A lot.
Yeah.
We're talking, we'll probably blame it on that offensive staff. They're not developing him enough, right? They're not, it's going to be more on them. And sure, Trevor will get some blame, too. I mean, Trevor already is getting a little, even from the last 6 weeks of being hurt, Trevor's going to take some of that, no doubt. People are going to lose a little steam on him. People are going to doubt him. We get that in the chat a lot, or some people outside of Jacksonville that interact with us or interact on social media and say, hey, he's not the guy. He's not the guy. He's not the guy. He's not showing the guy. Well, for a 6-week stretch, maybe he showed he wasn't the guy while he was hurt. There's plenty of reasons to kind of give him excuses. But I do think it will come up. They're kind of all tied together. It really does feel like that. I mean, Doug's here to develop Trevor Lawrence. Press Taylor's a part of that. Mike McCoy's a part of that. And usually the player is going to win out there, right? I mean, the other guy's going to get most of the blame.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what everybody wanted. Right? Doug Peterson took this job because Trevor Lawrence was here.
Yes, he did.
Right? And we've seen this happen in Kansas City, where Andy Reid, was a really big fan of Patrick Mahomes. They get together, they make magic, they win Super Bowls. And one would think that the emergence, the growth of Trevor Lawrence, I mean, it's going to be amplified with Doug Peterson. And there's probably no other coach that you would want here to help amplify that. Now, has it been amplified to the point we expected? Absolutely not. I mean, and I'll be the first one to say that. I think you too, Brent, would admit that. I think we all agree right now, and regardless of injuries or anything, at least I don't want to speak for you, but I expected Trevor Lawrence to be a little more ahead than what he is. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. Yes.
I think in totality, yes. I think I can... smaller a breakdown of it goes to that rookie year was a mess.
Sure.
And then there was a lot of trending up. I even thought I saw trending up last year for the first half until he got hurt. And then the injuries come into fold. So, again, I can make excuse for him, but I saw a lot of good football trending in the right direction. I thought he was about to get as hot as he was at the end of 2022.
I mean, listen, I'll keep it 100. And once again, we can have the laundry list of excuses, but when Trevor Lawrence was drafted here, I thought, okay, that's going to be a top 5 quarterback in a couple years.
Yeah.
3 years to come.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're not there yet.
No.
We are simply not there yet. So, yeah, in terms of development, I think a lot does fall on Doug Peterson. And, like I said, if you miss out on the playoffs, that's one thing. But if we don't see drastic improvement from Trevor Lawrence, because, once again, you're tied to Doug Peterson, well, then, yeah, I think it warrants the question of just how safe is anyone's job.
Yeah, I don't feel like a situation, and I'm not saying it can't happen, and maybe some of this is a little bit of relative nature to what happens in Jacksonville. I cannot see a situation where all of a sudden, like, it doesn't feel like Doug's on the hot seat here. In Jacksonville.
Yeah,
doesn't feel like it.
Not right
it
now.
feels like maybe Trent Baalke would be more than just because everybody's always so critical of Baalke. But I don't find that from the fan base at all. It's like, hey, Doug. Like, I think people like Doug. I think most of the things Doug's done, correcting the urban stuff, maybe it's a little bit of recency in relation to that, too. It was such a mess with Urban Meyer that he had to come in and fix. So I don't feel at all like Doug Peterson is on any kind of warm or hot seat. Now, that doesn't mean by October, November, December, it doesn't get like it. But I think almost like I thought about Josh Allen, where I said there's no way he's not going to have a contract extension this summer at some point.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know what happened in April, but there was no way he was going to the season. I haven't even entered my mind that he wouldn't have a contract extension. It's kind of the same way where, like, Doug's the coach of this football team in 2025. Like, I don't see a situation where he's like, boom, out the door. Some of that's because of Schott. I mean, Schott is always so patient, always so loyal, likes to give it time, doesn't like to have the quick hook, didn't like to do the thing he had to do with Urban Meyer. And Schott, in this case, would see playoffs, 9 wins, and then would he excuse a really bad season or a disappointing season again? I'm not sure. Yeah. I just think in my mind, I don't see, like, Doug not being here after next season. I really don't.
So you think if the Jaguars don't go to the playoffs and Trevor Lawrence, we'll say, has a mediocre season, everyone's going to be good?
Yeah, I feel like it's a weird thing to say, and I know that's not what people want to hear. I'd say yes. I think he still would be good. I think the situation you'd have to present for me to kind of come around on it more would be a little more catastrophic. It would be, it looks really bad, and it's like 4-win season.
Yeah.
And, because missing the playoffs could be an 8-9 win season.
No, for sure. And that's one thing. But listen, if we're having the conversation, once again, there's no excuse to say that. And I hate even saying this because I don't think it's going to be the case, but just for the sake of the argument, if we're talking about here, next May, that, man, Trevor Lawrence, kind of like, is he really the guy? I'm hitting the panic button.
Well, then you can't hit the
panic button. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Hey, this just in. The Bills have signed DeJuan Smoot.
Oh, there you go.
So DeJuan Smoot finds a new home.
Nice.
With the Buffalo Bills. The Bills and the Jags trading places with people.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of like the players the Jags are getting. Position of need with Mitch Morrison. I'm not sure how great he is of a player, but position of need seems upgrade.
Yep.
Gabe Davis, obviously a younger player that they get that maybe still has a lot of upside, but at least big play capability. We know how he fits in the offense. Smoot, who really one of the greats around here in terms of guys and production, better than anybody thought. I love how he resurrected his career. Loves Jacksonville. So all good things to say about DeJuan Smoot. I don't know where his game is. Last year he had a little impact coming off the the Achilles. And we'll see if he can kind of resurrect things and refine himself as he heads up to Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be a guy who's all about the business in terms of the hard work, because I think, had pretty low expectations, exceeded every one of those expectations. Obviously had some injuries that set him back a little bit, but now you're talking about a year and a half removed off that Achilles injury. I mean, the Bills could still get some pretty quality play from Smoot.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting to watch, like, the Buffalo. We did this yesterday. I forget what day it is. No, today's Friday. So we did it a couple of days ago. We were on the road, and it was like, okay, how do teams look when you're matching up again? The Buffalo Bills don't scare you nearly as much as they did when we were doing this last year. Going into last season, they were a dangerous team. They looked like a Super Bowl contender.
Correct.
The Bills have lost some players. They've had to. They've lost their top receivers. They do get Keon Coleman and stuff, but they don't scare you as much as they did. So you're getting guys. It's funny. It's just kind of a weird dynamic where the Jags are saying, okay, we're getting some of your better players, and you're taking a guy that coming off a not so great year here in Jacksonville or trying to get healthy again in Jacksonville. That part, again, would maybe help shape the narrative I suggested Wednesday, where maybe this is one of the teams that the Jags are starting to leapfrog a little bit. Maybe the Bills missed their window in the AFC to contend with Kansas City, to own the AFC East when New England was going down post-Brady. And Miami, here they come a little bit. Now the Jets look like they'll be the team to beat potentially in the AFC East. But in the AFC, it looks like the Jags have a real chance to leapfrog a contender that's been an annual one over the last few years, and I think they might be in that case with Buffalo.
No, for sure. I mean, the Bills have definitely slid a little bit, and people can, and I think I fall in this boat a little bit. I mean, had they lost their window? Had they lost their opportunity with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? The only caution I would bring, though, to writing off the Buffalo Bills quite yet, and I get that it's super easy, too, because you lost Stephon Diggs, you lost Gabe Davis, right? Like, who's Josh Allen going to throw to now? I get all of that. But the Buffalo Bills know their identity. And the Buffalo Bills know what they're trying to do. And to me, that makes a team dangerous still. Like, I think the Buffalo Bills have more of an identity than the Jacksonville Jaguars do. I think that says
what is it?
The Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
Pound the rock. James Cook. Get ready for a Derrick Henry type of workload. And you saw that last year, and one could say that kind of led to the demise a little bit maybe of Stephon Diggs wanting out. But you won games because of it. When teams were counting you out, when NFL pundits were counting you out saying, oh, man, the Bills are done, what'd you do? You got a new coordinator and said, yeah, I get we have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I get we have Stephon Diggs. We have Gabe Davis. But you know what? James Cook, here's the ball 30 times a game. Let's see what you got. And it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and it's 180 from what they were doing because they weren't running the football at all.
Without a doubt.
In Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Josh Allen's going to – I really am a big fan of Josh Allen. I think he's so dangerous. But you do have to get stuff around them, and they just look like a lesser team. Pound the rock or not, and maybe that is their identity. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you on the identity. Like,
no?
So James Cook's going to be the identity, or Josh Allen's going to be the identity? Like, it's still Josh Allen's football team. When I think of Buffalo, I'm thinking rolling out, escaping people, and throwing dimes on the sideline because that guy throws such a great sideline pass. But who's catching it?
Okay, and that's fair, but also I think it's going to be a big dose of James Cook, and I think the Tennessee Titans had a big dose of Derrick Henry, and they had a lot of success with some lesser players at the wide receiver position and at the quarterback position as well, and the Tennessee Titans still did their thing. So now you upgrade with Josh Allen, and you still have some suitable tight ends. Listen, I'm not saying the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I'm not going to write the Bills off quite yet because I think they know who they are. I think they have a pretty good culture in place. They have a good coach. They have a great quarterback, and they know what they want to do.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see where they go from here. This is a team that over the last couple of years, at times, I said this the other day, had number one offense and number one defense at the same time. Like, that is a really hard thing to do, and they still couldn't win a Super Bowl, get to a Super Bowl, get past the Kansas City Chiefs, and they had it this year, man. They had it at home. That was their time. Now, in fairness to them, they're pretty banged up by the time they got into that late postseason, and that's part of the game. Sometimes that just happens to you, so it didn't line up for them. But the Bills might have missed their, at least in this window, can they rebuild it back up and hit in the draft and do some of those things to make it good? We got some Cicadas talk coming up still. We also have Mike Norvell in this hour that will join us from Tallahassee, the Florida State head coach. So looking forward to that. We'll take a break here on the Brent Austen Show. Best Bet St Augustine, the place to be here this weekend as we get ready for the Kentucky Derby tomorrow, Kentucky Oaks Day today. We will take a look at the name of all the horses in the Kentucky Derby and see which one is your favorite to win the 2024 Kentucky Derby. Bucket list event for me. Never been, want to go, and I don't really have a big bucket list. But someday I'm going to head to the Kentucky Derby. We are here at Best Bet St. Augustine. Easy to find us, 95, exit 311, and a fantastic place to watch the Derby tomorrow or just hang out, play some table games, some poker as well, and have some fun here down in St. Augustine. I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnicht Buick GMC. My family and the Nimnicht family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnicht Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnicht Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids.
Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains and no payments for 90 days.
Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program. Nimnicht Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We know that at our home. You can find out as well. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? Well, CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242, cgcwater.com. Financing options are available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
It's the fishing tournament everyone wants to get in, and it's time for you to register. More than 650 boats entered last summer in the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin. Mark the calendar now, June 8th. This is fun for the entire family, and everyone has a chance to win big. Limited boundaries, no bait buying, no checkout. Cash prizes for the top 25 places, cash prizes for the top 10 lady anglers, and prizes for the top 15 junior anglers. The grand prize, this Yellowfin Bay boat with a 200 horsepower Yamaha and a Ameritrail trailer. The value over $100,000. It's the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout. Early entry until the end of May is open and $250. If you don't catch the big one, don't worry. Just catch any size kingfish and have a chance to win $10,000 with the Nimnicht Lucky Ticket. OldSchoolKingfish.com. Register early until May 31st at OldSchoolKingfish.com.
New to town or always been in town? Everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martinos get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're gonna love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code Brent20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back here to Best Bet St. Augustine. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, and we are hanging. Oh, the food just arrived. Livia's all over it. Everybody's all over it. That looks good for the buffet here with brunch with Brent and Austin. Got our Superfecta tickets. We got talking some sports. Good to hang out with some folks here. Giveaways. Austin making all sorts of noise with the microphone.
Sorry, man. I'll be able to hear you.
My goodness gracious. Holy cow.
Well, I can't hear you out my left ear, so I have to go my right ear.
Hamby's dad has made it here.
Hamby's dad's here?
Yeah. It's very, he's on the phone back there.
Yep.
That's not really Hamby's dad, but this gentleman behind us, who we'll talk about right now since he's not listening.
Yep.
Like, we get to commercial break, Hamby stops by, and I don't know if he put him up to this or what, but if you remember from our mock drafts, Jason Hamby's a UCF guy, so Javon Baker was a guy that he loved. He even said his comp was Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry, yep. Yeah.
Well, this guy says, hey, you guys talking about the draft?
Yeah.
He's like, the kid from UCF. He's
of
like,
all the players.
He's like, just got picked up by the Patriots. It's like, can't miss guy.
Of all, was there 256 players in the draft?
57.
57, sorry. Of all the players in the draft, this gentleman chose to go, hey, you guys talking the draft? Well, yes, sir, we are. It's Brent and Austin, Action Sports Jax, 24/7. And, hey, Javon Baker. That's a steal right there. The Patriots got a steal. I'm like... Man, I don't know if Hamby. There's something afoot here. I feel like I'm getting played.
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel like the house is in on this something.
Something's up.
Yeah.
If we get Hamby on over there in a couple minutes, he made the trip down. He's a poker guy now.
Yeah.
So he's here at
Kids
Best
Corner is going up before our eyes,
He
Brent.
is not here to hang out with us or help out the show. He is here to play. He actually challenged people on social media. Come on down. A little bit. He used the word felt.
Let's go, Hamby.
And I'm not talking about feelings.
After. I have some time after. Maybe play heads up a little bit. See what you got. Okay. Guys ready to roll.
Got some confidence.
Got
the confidence of a Javon Baker, by the way. That guy has had some amazing quotes and some... I didn't realize he was so brash. Another thing that we said earlier, Keon Coleman, you learn the personality. When you get out of college, you start to learn the personality of these guys a little bit more. And I think Baker's another example of that. We're going to talk a lot more football. We got Mike Norvell coming on here in about 20 minutes or so with us from Best Bet St. Augustine. He's not here in town, but he's in Tallahassee, going to join us, and we'll talk about Jerry and Jones and Keon Coleman and the draft class and the Knowles and what they're up to. Look forward to that very much. But right now, it's very important to talk about the latest bug or insect phenomenon.
Yeah, man,
we spent a bunch of time with bees.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot. And by the way, there's still a very important question for you to answer, to look in the mirror here this weekend and ask, do you want to be a worker bee or do you want to be a drone bee?
That's the question of the week, yeah.
And if you want to know why, just go back and listen to Wednesday's show around 10:45, 11 o'clock, and we'll tell you why.
For sure.
It's a tough decision.
Not really. To me, I mean, I'm going to be a worker bee all day, Brent. Let me get outside the house a little bit.
I get it.
Drones are more like those, those streamers, like those YouTube streamers and stuff. Like, you're just indoors the whole time.
I get it.
Get outside and touch some grass.
Depends on the queen.
Okay.
Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, Brent, you got it.
But anyway, we're in a cicada cycle.
I've heard this, yes. I haven't heard them yet, but I've heard that we're merging there.
So this spring, the cicadas are coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the background on cicadas.
Yeah.
They emerge every 13 years. And then there's another group of cicadas. I guess there's two different. This would be the drone worker bee kind of comp thing.
Sure.
That go every 17 years.
Okay.
For most of their lives, cicadas live underground, then emerge once the soil reaches 64 degrees. This year, both the 13 and 17-year cicadas will emerge, arriving in numbers that have not been seen in generations. They say there will be trillions of them.
Yeah. A lot of questions here, Brent. A lot of cicada questions. What are y'all doing underground? It's like the Matrix, where they're just having a giant party down under in the caves, or are they just literally just sleeping for 16 years?
Yeah, I don't know. This 13-year cicada is called Brood XIX. What would that be? 19?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. It's Roman numerals, bro. You're asking the wrong person.
I mean,
I know what brute is, but I don't know what the Roman numerals
are. Apparently, some of them are going to Illinois. Some see South Carolina. I'm not sure. I don't think Florida's in the mix here.
Oh, we're all good?
Yeah. Look,
so I remember we had a big cicada, thing going on in Murray, Kentucky.
You did have one?
1 year in Kentucky, yeah.
I think I had them in Louisiana. Can they get down that far? Because we went to the gas station. We were in Louisiana for 6 months.
Yeah.
My first job.
Yep.
And it was during, I think, a similar cycle. Maybe not the same species.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was. And you go to the gas station.
They're huge.
And you couldn't walk.
Yeah.
You couldn't walk without stepping on them.
Mm-hmm.
There was no cement seen there. I don't know why the gas station was like this.
Yeah.
But it was mostly, we would play tennis. Steph and I were newlyweds at the time. We're just playing tennis at 9 o'clock at night in Louisiana, enjoying the nice weather.
Yeah, sure.
You'd have them dropping out of the sky, man.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be pretty wild. So you'll see some of these scenes, and it's just everywhere.
And they're so loud.
And they're loud.
Yeah.
That's the other part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more annoying. There's so many of them, so they just fill up all these spots, or they're loud.
So I mean, okay. So we're looking at the map here, Brent. We got Doppler Brent here at the map. So it looks like are we going to be safe from the cicadas?
I should have brought the First Alert weather team in for this, actually, because it does look like a little radar.
Yeah,
we're fine. Again, a little bit of Georgia, a lot of Alabama and Mississippi, and then ironically enough, up in the Midwest in Illinois and Indiana.
Yeah.
I thought it was a South thing, but apparently it's not.
Maybe they prefer more of a milder summer, a milder climate.
Well, I think that is. I think that's got to be it. They probably have a sweet spot there.
I got you. Yeah, listen, man. I'm not one to I've seen Jurassic Park, and when you mess with Mother Nature, I get what happens and everything. Do we really need cicadas? Is there a way to kind of, just create something, get them out of here?
I don't know. We must.
I mean, here's the thing. With bees, you know how I feel about bees, right? Because they contribute to $18 trillion in terms of all the crops and everything. $18 trillion of all our food comes from, the pollination with bees. What are cicadas bringing to the table? Give me one positive thing about a cicada.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
I didn't do enough cicada homework.
You really didn't do a lot of homework at all. So what are we talking about here, Brent? We got some more graphs.
Okay, so I am getting a little more information. This would have been the 17. They do go down to Louisiana, so it was the cicadas. But I think the reason why we don't care, or maybe we don't want to just kill the species of cicadas is because it's 17 years and 13 years. It's okay, you only have to deal with it every now and again.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if it was a constant thing every year, this might be more of an issue.
Okay, Brent, I mean, we deal with an election every 4 years. That people want to talk about that nonstop. So we add a couple more, numbers to that, and it's 13 years you said? I feel like that's worth talking about every 13 years.
Yeah, we wish we could talk about the election every 17 and 13 years instead of 4 sometimes. That's why we don't talk about it here. That's it. Enough.
That's it.
So anyway, we're going to confirm or deny whether this is Jason Hamby's dad or not. He's joined us over there in the corner. The kid, he's got a corner. We don't have him on this show. We put him in a kid's corner, even here at Bet St Augustine. Let's go to Hamby right now. I think he can probably hear me. Maybe he can hear you, Austin.
Hamby, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to have to talk to him.
Oh, the whole time? Do you want to switch headsets? All right, Hamby. So listen, man. You come in here. I'm not going to say that the fix is in, that the house is winning. But this gentleman comes to us and says a certain wide receiver was the steal of the draft. Do you know this gentleman in the corner?
Never seen him before.
Hold on. Go ahead, Hamby. That was on me.
I've never seen him before, but he seems like a phenomenal gentleman. Looks like he knows ball.
Hamby, I haven't talked to you, I don't think, really. So, I mean, I have talked to you, but, regardless of the draft, and then your guy, what's his, Javon Baker.
Javon Baker.
Yeah, Javon Baker. How do you see him fitting in with the New England Patriots?
They took Jalen Polk first, their first receiver.
Yeah.
So they got those two guys right away. Javon Baker is going to be the go get it down the field stretch guy. Jalen Polk's going to be more of the middle guy. You're going to have 1-2 punch right there with Drake May right away. They're trying to surround him because they have nobody else.
Give us your Javon Baker rookie year stats that you think he could accumulate.
38 catches for 630 and 5 touchdowns.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's not bad, Brent.
Wow. Let me go.
Born year 1. But, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Let me go compare those numbers to Terry McLaurin.
We have Brent comparing Terry McLaurin real quick. All right, Brent, give us the rookie.
Year 1 rookie year was 58 catches, 919, and 7 touchdowns.
Okay, so not bad.
We'll take that.
So not too bad.
Take that.
Hey, yeah, ask him about how good his poker game really is.
Okay, well, Hamby, I'm supposed to ask you about your poker game now because I said you want to play heads up, just kind of as a joking, a little laugh off kind of thing, and you stone cold just shunned me and said, "Yeah, let's go right now." Like you want some of the smoke. Are you a pretty good poker player?
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody here, I'd pretty much play heads up.
Anybody.
I mean, I'm down for the challenge. I'm not saying I'm going to win. I'm not guaranteeing.
Hey, go over your right shoulder. How many people are in that poker room? There's a bunch out there.
Yeah, I've played here a couple times. You know.
Okay. Have you been to Vegas?
Yes.
Okay, so let's keep it with respect. I don't want you to lose all your money.
No, I said here. Yeah, here at this location where I don't think there's too many sharks.
I mean,
I'll play.
Okay, I've seen some a couple of times now. Like we've come in a 4th time doing the show here.
5th probably.
5th time doing the show, and I've seen some of the same people when I walk in those 5 times. Which means, hey, if it's Friday and it's 10 o'clock and you're playing poker, I bet you're pretty good.
Oh, yeah, you have to be. You have to be.
Yeah. So if that's the case, Andy, just watch your pockets.
I mean, as long as you go in with a set amount, it's no problem.
Now, are you a poker guy, too? Blackjack? What are you playing here?
I'm strictly Texas Hold'em. That's it. 5 cards.
Texas Hold'em. 5 card. 5 card. Okay.
All right. I feel like a Beyonce song all of a sudden, right?
And I feel like I'm like a moderator between you guys.
I do too.
Each other.
Why don't you say goodbye to him now?
All right, Hamzy. We'll talk to you later, man.
I'm gonna go play.
Thanks for stopping by. Great to see you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
It's funny. Here, my mic's not getting picked up to Hamby, who's like 20 feet away. He's got bad ears for a young guy.
Yeah.
What is it about the young guys playing poker? Is that like, is that because of the growth of like the World Series of poker and everything else? That I feel like the younger generation plays a lot of poker. I mean, Hamby's a 23-year-old guy.
Yeah.
I know my kid. They get a group of kids together. They'll go play.
No, I mean I've seen it firsthand, Brent. I've left.
Yeah, well, not just here. I'm saying even like in the neighborhood or whatever else they'll play. Like I feel like kids nowadays will get even like a poker set or whatever for Christmas or a birthday. Or, they like playing. That's cool. It's a cool game to learn too.
No, it's really cool. I mean, I grew up playing it. It was really big. Like when we were in high school, that all of us like.
So it was.
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah. So not for me.
But see, I felt like it kind of fell off a little bit now, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a resurgence, but
yeah, I think you're just not in that crowd anymore.
I'm not in the crowd. Well, I have a 9-year-old, and I'm trying to push him towards other things besides gambling right now.
Yeah, well, that's okay. He'll get there.
Yeah,
he's got no choice.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah.
Quick talk about the NBA playoffs. The Knicks. Did they impress you enough to say, okay, now they can go all the way?
I mean, I've said this all. The Boston's still a very solid team, but
Chuck picked Indiana to beat them.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I feel like Chuck kind of goes back and forth. But, no, I think Indiana, they're a great team. Halliburton's doing his thing. T.J. McConnell I make one joke about T.J. McConnell in the box score breakdown, and it comes back to absolutely bite me in the you-know-what in a game 6 last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. I think New York, definitely their best days are still ahead of them. Can they compete with Boston in a 7-game series? Possibly. But I still lean towards Boston right now.
I would say as dominant as they were, that's a fair thing to do.
You know what's wild, too? It's not even behind Jason Tatum either. Like, we want to sit here and say Jason Tatum, all right, maybe top 10 player. I mean, Jaylen Brown's been doing his thing. White's been doing. Everyone they're a complete team.
Yeah, they're a deep team.
Yeah,
they're well put together. Team.
Drew Holiday, we missed you in Milwaukee. He's doing well.
That whole thing with Stevens going to the front office. It's worked.
Yes,
from coaching then to the front office to what they're putting together. Like it feels. And I don't pay attention to the Celtics like I used to pay attention to the Celtics, but that whole deal seems like it's worked. And obviously they had the coaching snafu of a good coach, but obviously they had internal issue. And then they just are finding the right pieces. You talk about finding the right structure. And right now the Celtics are doing that because each and every year they're right in the mix.
Yeah.
And they built like what looks like a very dominant team at the moment. By the way, the Cavs and the Magic play tonight, and Magic trying to avoid elimination. That game will be down in Orlando. 3-2, Dallas leads the Clippers, even though obviously Luka's been playing pretty banged up.
Luka's been playing banged up, but still playing at a very high level. You know, going back to that Orlando Magic, the Cavaliers series, been watching that a little bit. Obviously, Orlando being the local team, and the Jaguars kind of tying their way into them a little bit. You know, I mean, I feel like the Cavs are the better team, but what I like, though, for them, if you're a Magic fan, I mean, Paolo Banchero, like, he had a lot of hype coming out of college and, like, a lot of expectations, and so far, he's kind of reaching those expectations. Like, we see this all the time happen with young players in the NBA, especially, like, you know, top picks, where they come out, they don't ever really give you what they're supposed to give you, and you kind of wash your hands of them. It's not the case with Paolo, man. Like, he looks like he's the real deal. I didn't know how big he was, honestly, until he saw next to Josh Allen. Because, you know, Josh Allen was in Orlando.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's insane just how, because TV can't do it justice sometimes, but...
Well, because they're all similar size.
They're all similar size,
by the way, Pat Beverly playing dodgeball in the Olympics, maybe.
Yeah, or he's going to be the new Brewers closer. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I guess some Indiana Pacers fans last night got into it a little bit, got heated, and Pat Bev felt the need to, and I say chuck, like, wholeheartedly chuck a basketball as hard as he could. Yeah.
But what's crazy is the guy caught it, or almost maybe bobbled it, then kind of got it.
It was a bobble.
That thing was like blistered. That was a good chest pass by Beverly.
I mean, Brent, he rifled it. It wasn't a chest. He like literally like overhanded that thing. Yeah.
Can't do it.
Can't do it, no. Obviously a frustrating experience for the Bucks. It's just Giannis goes down, Dame's not 100%. And I don't know, man. It's wild now the way that the NBA is shifting, Brent, because it used to be the big three, right? Like, you needed like three big players to say, all right, we got it, let's go to work. And I think the Clippers now are a prime example. Granted, Kawhi Leonard's been a little banged up. Everyone's banged up, all right? But Kawhi Leonard's been banged up. But everyone's saying, well, James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, like, that's the new big three. They could be a favorite in the West, and they're not producing right now.
Yeah.
And it kind of begs the question more of, do you kind of lean more towards just the overall depth purposes, kind of like the Celtics have right now? I mean, yeah, they have Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis when he's healthy. They have a lot of players. But like, I feel like we get so focusing on what we need 2 or 3 of like all-stars to get us there. And it's not what works, at least recently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. We are seeing a shift, I think, because you can have I kind of feel like Orlando's in this. Maybe some of their early draft picks haven't boomed to be who you want LeBron and these big stars to be, but they're still good. Like there's enough of their underbelly, their core of the team that hasn't like just been busted. Yeah. But they're still very good performers. I think the Knicks are like that now. And then you get a player like Brunson who emerges, right? Yeah. I mean, they've got some other players. Was Hart yesterday, contributed big time in that game. So like, maybe that is the new way to be built, which is really the old way to be built in a lot of ways.
It really is the old way. But yeah, I mean, like, for instance, the Celtics, probably the best team in basketball right now.
Yeah.
But like, their big three, I mean, all right, Brown, Tatum, and maybe Porzingis, whoever, Holiday, whatever the case may be, like, I'm not sure if I take those guys over a lot of big threes in the NBA. But in totality, as a team unit, I take them over anybody.
Yeah, something to be said for that. Absolutely. All right. Hey, when we come back, we should have head coach Mike Norvell joining us from Tallahassee, Florida State head football coach. We're live at Bet St Augustine. We'll take a time out on the Brent Austen Show. Brunch has been served. Everybody eating up and having a good time. And Mike Norvell doing a terrific job at Florida State will join us when we come back here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network on ActionNewsJacks.com and the Action News Jacks app. It's a new logo, new branding, but with Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. And with that comes the perks we miss in the big business world. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained. And they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. The folks at Bold City Heating and Air also know your AC unit is important and can be a big expense. That's why they have financing to help. No payments, no interest for 12 months on new systems. $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown. Bold City Heating and Air.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part, they did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access.
Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence.
You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Okay. Same thing happened with the Hamby as well. It was like. Okay.
Hey, welcome back here to the Brent Austen Show. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, and we are live at Bet St Augustine, and happy to be joined right now by the head football coach of the Florida State Seminoles from Tallahassee. And, well, you're watching them right there. That's Mike Norvell, coming off a fantastic season, done a heck of a job in Tallahassee, and obviously just signed a new deal to be there much longer. So they're excited about that in Seminole land, and, well, we are too excited to have Mike Norvell with us here on the show on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. And part of the reason we asked Coach Norvell to jump in is talk about the Jaguars' third-round pick, Jerry and Jones. And, Coach, we're excited about that pick in the third round. I think he was very excited to be a Jacksonville Jaguar. Tell us why we should all be excited to have him.
First of all, I appreciate you guys having me on, and you should be excited. You know, Jarian's a great young man. You're somebody that's been here for the last 4 years. You kind of joined our program really when we came in. You're here to Florida State, and just you've been on a heck of a journey. You know, he's been through the highs, been through the lows. You know, had the opportunity to continue to grow and develop. Really, I'd say the last year and a half have been great. You know, last 2 seasons have been great seasons for him. I really took his game to another level here during his senior year. You moved him in, played a lot of the nickel position, and I thought you really thrived there. Has the size, the speed, the movements to be able to play outside. Really think he has a chance to be special there in the slot, just with his man coverage ability, but also he'll throw his body around, which is always a good thing.
Well, we here in Jacksonville are wondering, okay, the Jags going to get a corner. Where are they going to put him? They did some things in free agency. Are they going to go on the outside? Darnell Savage coming on the inside. They've got some bodies there, and I think you just talked about it a little bit. You moved them to the nickel. Trent Baalke here in Jacksonville said, hey, he can play the outside too. How do you look at it at the NFL level? Can he do a little bit of everything?
I think versatility is key. And when you find a guy like that, especially the value in the third round, I mean, that really can do all. And, that gives great opportunity. You never know what's going to happen, throughout the course of a season, with injuries and things that might show up. But when you have a guy with a unique skill set, I mean, I think everybody saw, the performance he put on at the combine with all the testing, the measurables, and the great speed that he brings. But he's a football player, and I think he embraces all aspects of it. Really, grew in a special teams value for us throughout the years. I think he's going to be a great special teams player, as well as what he's going to be able to do in the defensive backfield. But when you have somebody with that type of versatility, really allows flexibility in different personnel packages, things that you can do, and I think he'll be a great addition to the Jags and the whole organization.
Coach, I play on the defensive line. There's always going to be contact there. Playing secondary in the cornerback, it's a little different. What I like about this player is the fact that he doesn't shy away from contact. He actually embraces it. When you're recruiting guys like this, when you're coaching guys like this, are you either born with that or not born with that as a cornerback, or can you actually instill that confidence to say, hey, if it's going to be a run, get a little more physical, go down there.
Yeah, I think you absolutely can develop, that. It's a toughness, it's a mindset, you teach technique and fundamentals, and then guys, they have to embrace that. And I think Jarian is definitely one of those players that have embraced, the physical nature of it. And it's something that he grew in, just in his time here in Tallahassee. And, when you have, the strength program, how he trains, the things he was able to do. I think his confidence built throughout that process. And, he'll definitely, like I said, he'll throw his body around for sure.
Well, he's got to have some ball skills, too. I've got to believe, Coach Norvell. I mean, he was a former wide receiver in high school, really a good wide receiver coming out of high school, and did play the corner spot as well. So, when he gets his hands on a football, probably going to reel that thing in.
No, and it's funny because when I was at Memphis, I was head coach at Memphis before coming to Tallahassee, and I actually recruited Jarian as a receiver there. And he reminds me of that, quite frequently. He was looking for some personnel packages there on the offensive side, but, we definitely we knew the ball skills that he had, and he was a great playmaker for us. And I think that that background has definitely helped him in a lot of ways.
When you see the reaction, I'm not sure, I guess I shouldn't assume you saw the reaction when he got the phone call from the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it's really good stuff. It was so emotional. I wonder how you feel seeing something like that, or knowing these dreams are coming true for these young men that you've helped groom. You bring them on campus, and obviously you want to see them grow throughout life, even after they're done at Florida State. What are those moments like for you? And if you did catch Jarian's experience as well, what was that like for you?
No, I did. And I mean, it's, the moment, the phone call, those are emotional filled, glimpses to what the journey's been, and what the emotion's not just about the phone call. It's about all the work that's gone in it, the highs, the lows, the challenges. I mean, the adversities had to overcome. It's you never. I always say, draft night is hard, and I mean it's a hard experience because you just don't know. You don't know when you're going to go. You don't know when your name's going to be called. I mean, it's not you go through the ebb and flow of all of those experiences, but when you finally know where you're going to be able to take that next step, and the organization that is giving you that opportunity, I mean, it's special. And Jar and I, we have a very tight relationship. He's one of my favorite players I've got a chance to coach over the years, and I love him for the growth that we've seen, and the commitment he made in just pushing himself to be his best. And I think Jacksonville got a great player, a great young man, somebody that's going to really be able to push and bring value in so many different ways. But it was my emotion was really there just because of the entire path that he's been on, and to see him hear his name called on that Friday night is pretty special, and wonderful for both sides, and of what that means.
Yeah, we can take it from here a little bit, Coach. Now we can watch him grow up. I mean, I know you're going to still follow him, but now we get to watch him, which is kind of fun for us too. I think fans as well. Hopefully, he's a Jaguar for a long time in Jacksonville, and we get to see the next step of it for not just him, but all these guys. And there's a lot more growth still to happen, I assume, even as a player for a guy.
No, I think his best football's in front of him, and you see the like I mentioned, last 2 seasons, last year and a half have really been big for him, and I think you see the playmaking ability, obviously what he was able to do in coverage. I mean, we were able to go into games and really, he eliminated, opposing teams, slot receivers. And I mean, they played some great ones. Some guys, a couple guys are, first round draft picks that, I mean, he really had big, big nights against, and, he embraces that challenge. And, there'll still be the high and low moments that he's going to get to experience, but I've got a lot of confidence in how he'll respond because of, the path and the journey that he's been through, here at Florida State, and he's definitely going to continue to take his game to an elite level.
Coach, talking about an elite level, another player from that program, obviously Jared Verse, getting drafted, going to the Rams, I believe as well. One of my favorite quotes from Jared Verse was about you, saying that you're one of the only coaches he ever had that could actually match his intensity. And when I look at a locker room now, Coach, I mean, I've been on the game now for 12 years, and it's amazing how much that locker room has changed, how much I think coaching has changed just because to try to tailor to modern-day players now. And you talk about that intensity that you bring to a locker room, that you bring to a field. I mean, have you had to change that intensity at all, or have you just got guys that can kind of handle what you bring to the table?
For us, it's about finding the right fit. And, we have an old-school approach with a new-age presentation, I would say. It's we're gonna work. And, I want to be around guys that love to work, and, we're going to value the relationships. And, I think when you sit there and you see, the investment our guys make and what they're willing to do, but also the appreciation of who they get to do it with, that's what makes the journey worth it. And, we had 10 guys selected, it was third most in Florida State history. I mean, all the great things we were able to accomplish throughout the last year. And, it's because of those relationships in that locker room. And a lot of different guys come from, we had guys that, came up through the high school ranks that have been here for 4 years, even guys that transferred that have been here for 4 or 5 years, throughout their journey. But then you also had, guys like Braden Fisk, Keon Coleman that were here for 1 year, but you saw, a very tight, knit group. And, I don't know if any of you guys saw the phone call between, Jared and Braden Fisk. I mean, just when they were both selected to the Rams, and just the emotions they felt, it's because of that locker room. And so, I coach our guys, and I push them hard. I try to help them, be able to see all the things that I know that they can do and what they can accomplish, but, also have an appreciation for who they get to do it with and what they get to represent. And, obviously we're here at a special place at Florida State.
I wouldn't have minded both of those players wearing a Jags uniform too. Jags only had one first-round draft pick, unfortunately, or a couple in the top 2 rounds. Mike Norvell, Florida State head coach, hanging out with us for a couple more minutes here on the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. And Coach, you said 10 drafted. That's an enormous amount. That speaks volumes to what you guys did, how you developed the guys you brought in, and what your record was last year. But now the hard part is you got to replace those guys. How much of a challenge is that going into 2024? I know you have a nucleus, but means you have to replace some really good players and also some quality leaders of the group that got drafted and is leaving Florida
absolutely.
State.
And, there's a lot of excitement here in Tallahassee because we have guys that have played, guys that have been able to make an impact that are now getting a chance to take another step and to really be able to step into that role as a leader or what has to be a go-to player on a day in and day out basis. And seeing that growth, seeing that maturity, seeing that development is critical, and we all have to go through it. And there's going to be times where you transition up and you get a chance to go take that next step in your career, and that's where a lot of these guys are within our program. We've got great experience coming back, but you mentioned we had some wonderful players that went to the National Football League, and there's a lot of excitement here because I think we got a chance to really have a very similar number here in this next year's class of guys that they have to go do it. They have to go play the game, and they got to be at an elite level. But I think the potential is there, and just excited to see it all play out here in 2024.
Looks like you guys have everything linked up right now, from your NIL plan to your transfer portal plan to the momentum you built on the field to what's going on with facilities, and obviously you extending in Tallahassee. What's that feel like? What's that buzz like on campus? Do you guys sense it? Do you sense it when you go to the grocery store? Sense it when you're walking around campus? Can you describe that a little bit for folks that aren't right there in Tallahassee? The momentum.
Yeah, Florida State's a special place, and it's filled with special people, and that's what I'm grateful to be able to represent. And we definitely have a lot of momentum. There's a great deal of push for our program to get back to the top of all the college football. And this last year, we were able to do some great things, and this next year presents a wonderful opportunity and great challenges that'll be ahead. But when you have an appreciation of all those areas, and you've got a commitment from everybody involved to continue to improve and get better. There's a lot of work to be done, but I know who I get to do it with, and so it's really a tremendous amount of buzz, excitement, and an appreciation for the work that has to go into it.
Coach, there's such an emphasis now on the portal, right? It's the ultimate game changer. I mean, some of you guys from the spring, came from the portal, and now there's a lot to like for what you guys are doing over there. Back when I played, it was all about recruiting, getting guys 4 or 5 years there. Like, how much emphasis now, Coach, is on recruiting those high school kids, bring them in the program, bring them through the program, and how much emphasis now is, hey, we had a great season, guys may want to come over for the transfer portal?
Obviously everybody's got a different path, and we've had great success with guys that have come through the portal. There's been a lot of schools that have taken plenty more than what we have through the portal. We've just gotten the right ones, and that's something I think evaluation is still key. Whether it's high school, whether it's transfers, whether it's junior college players, whatever that needs to be. When you find the right fit for your team, for your organization, and because that's what we're trying to build, and it's not a group of individuals. It's a football team that comes together that really cares about who they get to do it with, and I think that even as all those paths have come together, you find a lot of like-minded individuals that that love to go through this process together, and that's what we're building, and going to continue to push towards whatever path is necessary to get the right guys here.
Mike Norvell, we got to let you go, but I can't let you go without asking about Keon Coleman. He's stolen the last 8 days in the spotlight. Is that the personality of this kid? Obviously, looks like tremendous IQ, fantastic football player. It just feels like sometimes at the collegiate level, these guys are insulated, so we don't get to see all that personality. And now all of a sudden, it's oozing out across the nation as he gets drafted by the Buffalo Bills. Is that who he is and who he's been? And the guy
I'm glad the country's getting to see what we know. And Keon is a special young man, and what all the things you mentioned, he's extremely smart. He's got just a wonderful personality, great playmaker, and he's going to be one that the National Football League is going to enjoy. You're getting a chance to have Keon Coleman a part of their their organization, and obviously the Bills got a great one, and excited to see him and all the future success he's going to be able to have.
Coach, thanks for jumping in for a few minutes and hanging out with us and talking Jerry and Jones and the rest of your Florida State Seminoles. Have a good rest of your spring and summer. And good
thank you guys for having me on, and go Noles.
You bet. That is Mike Norvell, Florida State head coach, kind enough to join us for a few minutes here on this Friday on the Brent Austen Show as we asked about Jarian Jones, and he gave you a lot there in the early going. If you missed a bit of it, you can always go back and check it out. We'll have it on the podcast and everywhere else. But what a job he's done, man. I mean, the program is in such good shape compared to where he took over. There were some critical times, some poignant times, and they've delivered. You talk about the intensity, and Verse talked about the intensity. I talk about the detail. They look so well organized in Tallahassee. They were so right on the point in NIL, in my opinion, and in their transfer portal, they've hit so many home runs. Now we're going to see where they go from here. They went for the run. They got it. They got kind of hosed a little bit by the College Football Committee, in my opinion, and many others' opinion. And so that left a taste in their mouth. But now can you reboot it a little bit, right? Can you just kind of keep it going? And in this college football landscape and college sports landscape, sometimes it's easy. But sometimes it's also hard because everybody can do it.
No, I mean, everybody can do it, especially we talk about the transfer portal now and everything. But what it comes down to more than anything, Brandon, I get it, it's so cliche, but is the culture. And just talking to Mike Norvell a little bit here, Coach Norvell, in terms of, his philosophies, what he brings to the table. What I appreciate, and once again, I don't know him personally, but what it seems like is he's got his way of doing things. And even if you're one of the best players in the country, if you don't mesh with him, I don't think he wants to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I respect that because I think there's some coach out there that'll be like, hey, man, regardless of what this kid is, what his personality is, he's this great of a player, let's bring him in. I don't think Coach Norvell follows that philosophy, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a fit guy, right? I mean, and that's what you want, and to kind of keep that culture going. And maybe you take some chances here or there. I mean, that's going to always happen. But by the way, the schedule came out for Florida State, and it's very manageable.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. I think it's interesting, they got some criticism for it. I don't know if it's something you criticize, but it's manageable. I mean, there are schedules that come out that look daunting. There are schedules that look a little bit less daunting. I would say this on the less daunting side. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. I mean, we talk about it all the time when the NFL schedule comes out. You never know who everybody's going to be. But some of these early games, he does play Memphis, by the way, where he was. And, Clemson's at home. They're at Miami, who they've been able to take care of recently. They are at Notre Dame. That's a big one. And against Florida, of course. So, but in between there, the Memphises, Georgia Techs, South Charleston Southern, SMU. SMU could be interesting. But, they're not going to be, at least right on paper, until we get to see them. Nobody's going to project Florida State to be where they were last year anyway, right? I mean, you got to replace a lot. And the guy didn't get a chance to ask. We could have asked him for an hour about all these different things. Really asked the coach to come on and talk a little bit about Jarian Jones mostly. But Jordan Travis, I mean, that's going to be one to watch. We talked about him the other day. I mean, I think there's a guy that represents Florida State in the Mike Norvell era of Florida State. And what I love about Jordan Travis and what I like about Mike Norvell as a coach is he developed them. Talk about staying in the same system for a long time, and you saw the development of a player that we thought, quite frankly, was just a guy early on in his career and became the guy at Florida State. And now you wonder what he can do even at the next level. So we talked about this earlier in the show with Doug Peterson, with Trevor Lawrence, right? Well, I think maybe the best illustration of coaching and the program turn was really this relationship with Jordan Travis and his growth at Florida State. So that's where it starts.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's all about relationships. And I do think, it's very telling to see this year how Florida State's going to do. But anytime you have a lot of success, right? And some can say they got screwed up by the committee and everything. Obviously, Travis going down was a big part of that. But I feel like when you have that run of success, recruiting gets a little easier. The transfer portal, you get a couple more guys in there. So I'm very curious to see if they can sustain the success. Now, you have to replace a lot of players, and that's not going to be easy. But you feel like the hype right now at Florida State is real, and if that's the case, can you capitalize on that, get some big-time guys in the portal, keep coming through, get some big-time recruits, and keep this thing going?
Yeah, and I think they can.
I think so, too.
And again, I think they're really good on the NIL and the transfer portal front. And right now, those two things are game changers in college football. So, so much going on in college football. Great to talk to Mike Norvell. Appreciate the time once again as as he joined us from Tallahassee here on the Brent Austen Show. We're live at Bet St Augustine. Food served. We got a big party over there. They're getting their handicapping ready for the Kentucky Oaks today and the Kentucky Derby, which will be tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that Derby and that big event. Bucket lister again for me, probably not for you. I've never heard you say it, but what is on the bucket list for some of the folks maybe on these one-time-a-year big events? We'll hit that when we come back. The Brent Austen Show, live from Bet St Augustine, and once again, a big thanks to Mike Norvell. Look at the food. It's pretty good.
Let's go.
Olivia and Sesnick over there can vouch for it. It's pretty good. We're going to get some. We're going to commercial break so we can get some food here. Brunch with Brent and Austin at Best Bet St. Augustine.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
I'm Action News Jack's First Alert meteorologist Garrett Beaton. While the sun is up and it's going to be a beautiful day.
Sometimes you just need a day to yourself. And Garrett's First Alert forecast makes sure you're ready to go out and enjoy. Garrett and the Action News Jacks This Morning team helping you start your morning right.
Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We know that at our home. You can find out as well. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? Well, CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242, cgcwater.com. Financing options are available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Community. That's who we serve.
It's the people. Yeah, it's the people.
Demanding answers. Because the truth matters.
When are you going to do the job?
Listening and getting help to those who need it.
I just appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
It's about telling stories from deep inside our neighborhoods, informing you, building connections, tracking storms.
Serious storm situation, the kind of which we rarely see.
Holding people accountable.
You were getting at the truth.
That's who we are. Action News Jacks.
The friendliest golf course in town, the Golf Club at Southampton. Local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the pro shop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
There's a look at the golf cart that you can win this summer at Bet St Augustine. So here's the deal. Really now, we got some. We'll get to the golf cart in a moment. We got some noise here as we get ready for this first race in Kentucky at Kentucky Oaks. But anyway, you come by Bet St Augustine. Really, the next couple of months, every hour you play, you get an entry. Free entry into winning that golf cart. So that's kind of how that works. And you can come by Bet St. Augustine and do just that. As we are having brunch with Brent and Austin, the food is very good. A little chicken and waffles just dove into.
Yeah.
Well, you look like you're going for the high-calorie meal here.
I'm going for the high-calorie meal. Way to put me on the spot, Brent. But the hardest thing I've had to do so far is to have half of that chicken and waffle and then come back in to do this show. I almost just said, hey, I'm going to call it early. I'm going to get in the parking lot a little bit. It's the last hour. Brent, we're all good. It's Friday. But I'm going to be professional about it. I'll wait my turn, and in 15, 20 minutes, I'll finish up what I have.
Yeah, looks good. Next time we have one of these, you might want to come down. The food is, this ain't your continental breakfast, by the way. It's
Without
a
a doubt.
hotel.
Yes.
This is real deal stuff.
Yep.
So we appreciate the folks at Bet St. Augustine. That was fun right there. And I didn't realize the races had started. Yeah. And a long day of racing.
It is muddy, by the way.
It is very muddy track. Slop at Churchill. And speaking of the Derby, it doesn't do anything for you, huh?
I've never said that, man. I told the story before on the show. I had an opportunity one time because being in Kentucky, we had one of my friends on the show who trains Derby horses.
That's right.
Yeah, Will Warner. Shout out to him. I'm not sure if he has any horses this year or not, but I had an opportunity to go to the Kentucky Derby. I said it's the Derby, don't care. My friend sent me a text message with a photo of them and Michael Jordan in the VIP hanging out. So, not to say I'm opposed to going to the Derby. I love to go to the Derby sometimes. It's just I need a good excuse to go. I'm not going to go by myself and just hope, I have some friends there.
No, I get that. But it's become like a thing. Tom Brady brought a bunch of his guys there, and it's a celebrity event. I mean, it's an event. And so when you see those kind of things, if you see a big basketball game or a big football game, you're going to see a bunch of the stars out. Yeah. And you see a lot of stars go to the Derby. And I wonder if fans feel that way. Like, I don't know where it is on people's bucket list because I get it. Like, not everybody's into horse racing. I always say that horse racing was a fantastic thing to cover when I was up in Albany, New York. That's where I kind of fell in love with it. But even since I've been removed now for some 15 years from covering it, I don't pay attention like day in, day out, month in, month out, like some of these folks do that are kind of handicapping these races today and tomorrow. It's a fun thing to do. But I do want to go to the Derby. Like, if you could give me one event to go to that I haven't been to, and granted, I've been to a good amount of events, but I haven't been to a Final Four. I haven't been to, like, Indy 500. That's on my list a little bit.
Yep.
There are some other big events like a U.S. Open tennis or a Wimbledon, or I think Kentucky Derby would be on my list first to go to check.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the atmosphere, I mean, obviously if I'm going to the Derby, I'm not going to be in the stands. I'm being in the center field, whatever they call it, hanging out with the locals, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it looks like a blast. I think kind of like NASCAR is the same way, where like I've never actually been to I've been to Daytona, we've covered Daytona, but I've never actually been in the infield during Daytona and the partiness going on there. But I feel like it would be pretty similar, and it would be a good time.
How about Indy 500?
Sure.
The Indy 500 infield, they say, is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know why they say that one compared to some others like infields or
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Derby, maybe it's Daytona, maybe whatever, but
Indy 500 would be great. For some reason, I have Monaco, like the Formula One, just because, like, you know, it's so out of my realm in terms of, like, the ritziness and everything. Like, it would be cool just to be on a yacht with, you know, with some of the people and just kind of take that all in because it's so foreign to me.
Yeah. That would be fun. Well, you better bring your pocketbook in Monaco, it feels like.
Well, I mean, I didn't say I will be spending the money. I was hoping it was going to be like an all-expense-paid trip, but yeah.
All right, so now you want to get into horses' names a little bit.
Yeah, sure. You want to get into that right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I had where all their names come from if you're interested.
You actually have it.
I did, yeah. I don't know we're doing it right now, but I can get it real quick.
Well,
yeah.
Yep. I got some time here.
Yep.
By the way, the favorite in this race is Fierceness, coming out of the 17 slot.
Yeah.
Which I think I don't think that's advantageous coming from that far out the outside, but we'll see. Sierra Leone's another name, Forever Young. Those are some of the favorites in the race from 9-5, 6-1, 8-1. Catching Freedom is 9-1. The one that I have, I saw something on, and I was like, I'm going to go with this one. Just a Touch, 17-1. That's my winner of the Kentucky Derby. Just a Touch at 17-1. They got Mystic Dan, Resilience, West Saratoga, Just Steel, Domestic Product, Catalytic, that's a good one, Stronghold, Track Phantom, Endlessly, T.O. Password, Epic Ride, Grand Mo the First, Society Man, and Mugatu at 87-1, by the way, the longest odds here at this year's Kentucky Derby, which is a 21-horse field. I feel like it's usually 20, but it's a 21-horse field. Or at least in the 21 posts. I don't think I said, actually 22 of them are in the field.
Okay,
that's bigger than ever. That Superfecta is going to hit crazy.
Before I break these names down, DAM, does that stand for like the father, the mother, like a dame? DAM.
Yeah, probably the sire and dam. Yes.
So the dam is, I'm sorry? Is the mom. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Sire is dad.
Okay. Well, would you like the breakdown of all these names? There's a couple of them.
This now.
Okay.
Which, next to a drone bee? The stud on a horse farm?
Yeah.
Ain't that bad a life either.
Man, we keep going down that road, don't we, Brent? Do you want me to break down some of these names?
Yeah, give me some background on the names.
So
because this is how you're going to pick the winner.
This is how I'm picking the winner. It's how everyone should pick the winner. So West Saratoga came up first here. It's in Littleton, Colorado, town of about 46,000, and it's where the horse was raised. So little hometown roots there of West Saratoga in Colorado. That's where that horse got its name from.
Really? Yeah. I would have totally thought that was from like Saratoga, New York, and some kind of combination.
Good old Colorado, man. Epic Ride is named in honor of James Woody Welsh, one of the founders of the Welsh Racing, who dreamed of having a Derby horse but passed away on October 6, 2022 from an illness of the age of 46.
All right.
I'm sorry, 78, my bad.
So that's a little somber story there to go along with that one.
Catching Freedom, Brent, here we go. Now we're back on track. Catching Freedom's name is a clever play on his parents, Constitution, and Catch My Drift, according to the Kentucky Derby website.
All right, there you go. A little American Pride.
Forever Young. The mom was Forever Darling.
Yeah,
so Forever
that's where a lot of these names do come from, by the way. A combination of both that can happen.
Yep. We have Stronghold, named because of the horse's strong, robust look as a foal, F-O-A-L.
Yeah, that's the baby.
Okay.
When it's a kid.
Well, okay, when it was a kid, I guess it had, it kind of had that...
It was like your 14-pound baby?
Yeah, it was like an Eric Armstead walking around.
Yeah.
So you had that.
It was a stud as a baby.
Just a Touch, this is one that you're picking?
It is the one I'm picking.
Well, its sire is Justify, and the dam is Touching Beauty.
Oh, there you go. Just a Touch.
Just a Touch. Yeah, it's a lot of them named after... Here's an interesting one, Brent. Sierra Leone. What'd you think about that? So I was going to say, we're going to name a horse Sierra Leone. Why would you think we're naming a horse Sierra Leone? I can't believe this horse got in with this background.
With a little mafia background? Or?
Well, okay, so Sierra Leone is named after the country in Africa and its rich cultural history. Sierra Leone was a trading post for Europe, so the name also is a nod to the nationalists of the horse ownership group that was known for trafficking goods. So,
how about that?
Yeah.
What about you?
More.
Got another one?
Cadillac, Catalytic, which I think of catalytic converter. Its sire is Catalina Cruiser.
That's easy.
Easy.
Mystic Dan, has this got anything good?
Dan, is Hamby still here?
No.
Okay. Named in honor.
Maybe he's winning on the tables over there, like everybody else is. I mean, the place is packed over there.
Mystic Dan was named in honor of the breeder Daniel Hamby III's father, whose first business venture was selling Mystic tape, according to the Daily Racing Form.
All right. These are not that interesting.
No.
I thought they'd be a little bit better.
There's a horse named Domestic Product.
Is it still in it? Yeah, Domestic Product.
Get it out. That's like the most boring name ever.
Oh.
And by the way, its mom's name was Goods and Services.
Well, product. There you go.
I hate that. I'm sorry, but I can't. Come on, man.
All right, so name. You got all these horses.
Yeah.
You're picking a winner.
Yeah.
Who do you like based on name alone? Because you didn't handicap.
Well,
anything.
first of all, I'm not sure the story about Mugatu. I haven't found that one yet. But if it's Mugatu from Zoolander, I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, you shouldn't be. It's 87-1 odds, but you'll get rich.
Hey, what are you talking about, man? Go and give me Sierra Leone.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass name.
I bet a lot of people will go that way. I think Catalytic's kind of a cool name. It's just kind of a fun one to say.
Yeah.
So maybe, if you were to go, where's the money going to be? Based on name alone, you don't even look at the odds.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to get...
It ain't going Domestic Product, I'll tell you that much.
No, I think Sierra Leone's going to probably be the winner there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, people would then be like, oh, they're second favorite. I got a chance to win this thing.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't see any names that are like, whoa. That's awesome.
I mean, can I just say, and so is the favorite Fierceness? Right?
Fierceness is a
Fierceness.
A heavy favorite, by the way, at 9-5.
I don't like the name. Do you like the name? I think of when I hear Fierceness, I think of RuPaul's Drag Race. Fierce. Modeling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think of a Derby winning horse.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of. See, I actually do a little bit because think about the names of some of the Derby winning horses over the years. Some of the greats, right?
Yeah.
From Secretariat. Right? And now,
Biscuit, right?
Or more recently, you've had American Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a cool name. Hey.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
I can do that one.
I don't mind these names. I'm just saying, I don't mind Fierceness. I could see Fierceness, the Kentucky Derby winner.
I don't like
Fierceness.
I don't like Fierceness.
I've got our guy Funny Side was the winner and the big story that I covered when I was up in Albany that won the Kentucky Derby back then in the first couple legs of the Triple Crown.
I keep going back to this. You got to do a better job than Domestic Product. I mean, they've been striking the fear into the other horses than Domestic Product.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, there are some names that strike the fear, and then there are others.
By the way, shout out to Grand Mo the First. I like that one as well. Don't know what it's about. Sounds cool.
Hey, Nick, I know you said you got a peek at Hammy. I'm not sure you should take that peek. I don't want to show too many people who are playing, so don't take that shot if you don't mind. I didn't get a chance to tell you that. Unless it's just Hamby alone at a table, then we can show him because we know he's playing. If he's just by himself, okay, yeah, we don't want to show anybody else. So not without written permission.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to show anybody else unless they're back here right behind us, which is maybe the reason why some aren't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hiding out in some other spots. Nick also said, by the way, OBJ signed to Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Not a surprise there. That's some of the news of the day. Pretty quiet week coming off the draft actually around the NFL, but you're starting to see a little bit of these next level guys available. We heard Jarvis Landry obviously going to come in to camp with the Jags in May. You get DeJuan Smoot going up to Buffalo. You got Ezekiel Elliott signed by the Dallas Cowboys. You have Odell Beckham Jr. Down in Miami now.
Yeah.
When you get to this stage of it in the NFL, it's kind of like so much more name than game. It's like, what do they have left? Mm-hmm. Isn't that kind of what all these teams are hoping for, from Ezekiel Elliott to Odell Beckham Jr. To even not as big a name, but a guy like DeJuan Smoot? Can he go have another productive year?
Yeah, I mean, with Odell going to Miami, you don't know how much he's got left in the tank coming out. I think he's come off another injury or not.
I don't think he was banged up last year. I mean, he might have been banged up at times, but I think he played.
Nothing major.
He just wasn't worth the $15 million he spent, which we knew that was going to be the case.
Because he was going
a little bit of Lamar Jackson buy-in,
Yeah, he was going to Baltimore there to, try to. I mean, they had Zay Flowers as well, but try to be one of the guys. I mean, you're going to Miami now. You're behind Tyreek Hill. You're behind Waddle. I mean, as a 3 receiver, would you take Odell Beckham Jr.? Maybe. We'll see what it is. We'll see what the price is and everything like that. But props to Antonio Brown. Got another one right, Brent, in the pre-draft predictions, if you will. So you know how much I'm following Antonio Brown lately in terms of his predictions, in terms of where wide receiver is going to go, and chalking one up for Antonio Brown.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Speaking of the NFL, the schedule comes out, we think, next week, a week from yesterday, probably. Mm-hmm. They haven't said that. I don't think they've said that, but we're anticipating it as soon as next week. Based on the start of our conversation today about maybe a little bit of a lackluster feel around the Jacksonville Jaguars, where do they go with primetime games? And how many do they get? It's a conversation we love to have. We love to predict. We've kind of mentioned it before. We're like, they'll probably get one. Yeah. But do you think the fact that they're being picked 26th in a power poll, or the fact that everybody's in love with Houston, even though the Jags do have star power and some reason to be in prime time, they've got players that will put you there. Trevor Lawrence, like I tell everybody, he's not just a Jacksonville guy. He's a face that people know around the National Football League. He's a jersey seller. He's an endorsement guy that does very well. So there's reason to have the Jags, I think, in prime time, and it might be against the Houston Texans, which we really haven't said that much about the division in a long, long time.
Yeah, I think, listen, there's 2 things that really get you primetime games. Number one, it's obviously the history of your team. If you're a storied franchise, if you have a big following, the Bears, the Packers, the Steelers, the Cowboys, you're always going to get your primetime games just the way that it is. Okay. Then comes the quarterback. If you have an intriguing quarterback, then I feel like you can echo you more towards, primetime games. And obviously your previous season's record has something to do with it as well. The Jaguars didn't do too well during primetime last year in terms of the games that they had to show up for. Just didn't work out. If I'm going to make a prediction, I'm saying 1, and I'm saying Thursday night, Houston Texans.
I think they're going to get 1, too. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be the Houston Texans. I think that if they were to get 2, I think the Houston Texans could be that second one.
Okay.
Because I do think that's a pretty good matchup. Again, the AFC South, all of a sudden, I think we have to get rid of recency bias a little bit. The AFC South has not been sexy at all. It kind of is. It's kind of a sexy division, which hasn't been it. It just hasn't. It's been running backs plotting. Derrick Henry, that's great. It's whatever. Now you've got guys in high-flying offense potentially with the Jags and with Houston. Indianapolis is a little bit of a wild card here. Now, Tennessee's still going to play a style. I think that's whatever.
And then you just got the sewer troll at the end. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you look at division style around the National Football League,
okay,
I would say the AFC East is fun because of the Dolphins. And even the different strengths, right? The Dolphins and the Jets are a fun matchup because how's that defense going to do against that offense?
Sure.
I think the Bills you still feel are right there until you don't know they're right there. So you could have a Bills-Jets shootout if you're looking for prime time. Kansas City and the Chargers, is that as good as it was last year? Probably not. Mm-hmm. Kansas City and anybody in that division? Can you buy into anything? Probably not.
Probably not.
The North is always good. You always get good rivalries. But it's going to be a 20-17 game, too, most likely.
Sure. But the NFC West, I think, is still pretty good. And I think the NFC North could be really the most competitive.
The NFC North, too. Yeah. Again, it's okay that other divisions are like this.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think the NFC North has become a very fun division to watch offensively. But my point is, the AFC South hasn't been. And even though it's had good players, and sometimes it's got good teams and some storylines that we really follow, we're talking about from the national landscape. Well, these stories are real now around the National Football League. I mean, Houston's a real story. Stroud is a real story. Trevor's been a real story. Anthony Richardson's going to be a real story this upcoming season.
How many primetime games do the Jaguars have in 18? I'm sorry, not in, and in 18.
I want to say they had 2. They had the Thursday and then a Sunday that got flexed. The Sunday got flexed.
Okay.
It was against Pittsburgh.
That's
and
right.
It got flexed out.
So they
so I think they were just getting the Thursday and Sunday that year.
So 2 games, and then they had...
Because you got to remember, they get London, too, so London kind of feels like an isolated game. It's not prime time, but it's an isolated game.
Yeah, it's breakfast. You ain't no prime anything.
It is. You're eating chicken and waffles like we are right here at Bet St Augustine.
I'm not mad about...
It actually might be a good idea.
What's that? Oh, to have
breakfast here during the Jags game.
I like that. And then this year, how many primetime games?
This past year, it was the most.
It was 3. Okay.
Sunday, Monday, Thursday.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to get to is how many is Houston going to have?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because, all right, coming off of a little bit of a playoff run, coming off of, obviously, the Stroud hype, and coming off of maybe, I mean, I don't know if Stephon Diggs really pushes the needle at all, but, like, could be an explosive offense. How many, like, if we're talking about the Jaguars getting 2 after a good run and getting 3 this year, we're talking Houston Texans 3?
Yeah,
maybe even 4?
3? No, I don't think 4.
3?
I don't think 4.
Okay.
I think 3 makes sense for Houston. That's a good point. I think that's a good comparison. I think they can go on a Sunday and Monday. And what's interesting about Houston, and I don't know how I think it got hot in Houston. But when we were there when did the Jags play them and beat them 24-21? Like November? When we were there, it was not electric in that game. It wasn't there yet. Like Houston was coming. Houston was overachieving. But I think after the last couple of years, even Houston fans were still like, well, let's wait and see. Maybe they were just overperforming. And then I think it got even hotter and hotter and hotter after that. So now it's got to be at a fever pitch. I got to believe in Houston. They're really, really, really excited about the Texans.
Got it.
But when we were there, I didn't feel that yet. I think we got there just before you could feel that. Almost like the Jags in 2022. Like you had to feel it in December, not if you were there in November, right? So that part was interesting to me. I think you're right. I think Sunday, Monday, Thursday makes sense. Here's another thing about the Jaguars when it comes to these isolated primetime games, which I know are 2 different things, but it might also be the same thing. Like the NFL might look at it like, hey, we're playing you at 9:30 against Chicago in London at Tottenham.
Yeah.
And that's a game that the whole world can watch, and you're just playing. Why do we need to put the Jags in prime time like 2 more times on top of their London games? Like, I wonder if it hurts them a little bit because of that. But the other one is this, and this is the one everybody's got their eyes on, and everybody want to happen is, and we've talked about it, is Thanksgiving. Because they do have Detroit on the calendar this year. And so Detroit, Thanksgiving, Jags have never played it. Again, wouldn't be a primetime game, but would feel like a primetime game.
I mean, that's a primetime game as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, and that would be fun. You know, I mean, once again, I think we talked about this a little bit before. I'm not sure if players would be excited to play on things. Like, obviously, I think Detroit, they're excited because it's a home game, right? So you go play football, come home to your family.
They love it.
Yeah, with the
tradition.
With the away team, I feel like it could be a little more, you know, like, oh, we got to go on Thanksgiving for this, but.
Yeah, I don't think the away team minds it either. I think they like the spotlight. Yeah, I think they like the spotlight. I do think it's a huge disadvantage. When you're playing a road game on a Thursday, usually late in the season, and then you're also doing it against Detroit, who's always good, I think, at home on that day.
Do you think it's telling, like, the fact that Jaguars haven't played on a Thanksgiving? Like, you think the NFL really cares about that or not?
I don't think they do. I thought for a time they did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they even might have when it comes to, like, Tony Baselli getting in the Hall of Fame. And then, like, years went by, and I was like, you know what? Maybe the NFL doesn't give a damn about that kind of stuff. And I know that's a little bit different in the context, but I don't think the NFL cares that. And this isn't to say the NFL doesn't care about the Jags. I'm just saying I don't really think they care about checking that box. But you only get, like, once every 8 years to check the box that they're going to play at Detroit. Now, with this new scheduling, maybe there'll be another year mixed in there, however that works, right, because of the 17 games. So I would say no. Do you think they care at all?
I don't think so either. No. I think if they did care, it would have been already. You know, I think the NFL cares about some things in terms of the optics, but the Jaguars playing on Thanksgiving, I think, is like so far below them they could care less.
You brought up an interesting question. We're going to take a break here in a minute, but just real quick, I brought up a question about, or you mentioned London, or maybe I mentioned it, and said, do you think it hurts? Like, do you think it hurts the Jags primetime or getting the amount of primetime games because they do play that? Like, that's one where the NFL vision, again, might be different than the fan vision.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't hurt them, but maybe the NFL thinks differently. Like, I don't think anybody here in Jacksonville considers those London games prime time.
I know, but you would have on Thanksgiving. Why is that? Why aren't you're the only game? Why isn't that because prime time?
No, I mean, to me, the Thanksgiving is prime time.
I'm saying London, though. Why doesn't it feel prime time?
Oh, because everyone plays in London. How many games are in London every year now?
Okay, but everybody plays in prime time, too. but you're the only game on that Sunday night or Monday night, the one you get.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, Thanksgiving, it's just one day. Like, it's tradition. It's one day, one night, whatever you want to call it, but, like, you play one day on Thanksgiving. In London, there's, like, a game, like,
there's, like,
4 or 5, 6, I'm saying, like, weekly for a little bit. So, so for 3 weeks, there's games in London.
Yeah.
That's a difference.
Maybe it's 4 now.
Okay, but that's a difference.
Yeah, I get it. But what I'm asking you is, why don't we view it here in Jacksonville as more prime-timey, even though it's not at night?
Because it doesn't seem special. Because it doesn't seem special.
Yeah.
Because, like, other teams can say that as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be what? There's going to be 8 teams or whatever? 6? How many teams are playing in London this year?
Yeah, say it's 8. But, my point is, there's going to be 34 teams that play in prime time on a Sunday night, Monday night, but we think that's special.
Yeah.
And, it's not like there's one primetime game a year.
I don't think 9:30 in the morning is primetime.
I think that's it, though. I think that's the answer.
Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a couple answers, actually.
Yeah.
Jag fan base doesn't have a great view of London to begin with.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, but and also it's like, it almost seems like it's a gimmick. It's like the Brazil stuff. It's like, yeah, if you're a Jaguars fan, it's considered primetime, but you can't, like, go to your own stadium. Like, you have to go to London.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Like, when you feel like Buffalo was there, Buffalo, the fans and everybody, it felt like it was a thing. It didn't feel like it was like a, hey, we're pissed off that you're playing in London thing. I think in Jacksonville it has a, hey, we're pissed off you're playing in London feel sometimes, more than it's a special thing. And you're right. We've now done it every year, right? So there's no novelty to it in that respect. All right, let's take a time out. Brent Austen Show here from Bet St Augustine. Again, the Kentucky Oaks underway, the Kentucky Oaks Day underway, and Derby Day coming up tomorrow, as we've got a busy couple of days of horse racing and more fun than that. Table games are packed over there, and poker as well, and you can be a part of it each and every day at Bet St Augustine. Come hang out all weekend long. We'll be back on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One-card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part? They did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnick Buick GMC. My family and the Nimnick family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnick Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnick Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids. Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains and no payments for 90 days. Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program.
Nimnicht Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Thank you for making Action News Jax the best in Jax and Folio's Best of Jax 2023. Best TV station, Best TV newscast, Best TV morning show. Chandler Morgan voted Best TV anchor. The Chief, Mike Burrish, voted Best meteorologist. And Brent Martineau voted Best TV sports anchor. And while you're on the go, Best news website and Best local blog, The Burrish Blog. Thank you for making Action News Jax local coverage you can count on.
It's a new logo, new branding, but with Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. And with that comes the perks we miss in the big business world. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained. And they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. The folks at Bold City Heating and Air also know your AC unit is important and can be a big expense. That's why they have financing to help. No payments, no interest for 12 months on new systems. $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown. Bold City Heating and Air.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Look at that good-looking pup. They name that dog?
Aww.
Just heard it was Flagler.
Flagler, nice. Okay.
Yeah, down here in St. Augustine, that's a pretty good name.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense a lot. So, hanging out here at Bet St. Augustine.
It's like he's looking right at us right now.
It really is. Like,
He's like, what's up, Brent? Really? You're going to stay at the restaurant till 10:20 when they have to go to work? Oh, man. That's a bummer.
Ratings go through the roof. We just keep this on the dog the whole time.
Rocking that Tina Turner hairstyle, though, huh?
Olivia's so excited. She's getting the shot of the dog right now. Dog came in, and Olivia was like, touchdown. She put her hands up.
Are we okay? I'm not really. Wait,
you're surrounded.
Oh, there we go. That's a big dog, man.
It's a big dog.
Yeah, beautiful.
Flagler, hello, Flagler. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, not too far from Flagler, actually, just down the road. We are here at Bet St. Augustine. Got a good group of folks came down from the Jacksonville Best Bet, hanging out over here and watching all the big screens and so much to do here at Best Bet St. Augustine. We're up on the big screen, Austin, as well, and you've been on those big screens before, but there we are.
Oh, yeah, nice.
We're right next to the Handicappers for Gulfstream Park, and then we got Churchill Downs rocking and rolling on a Friday on the eve of the Derby, big Kentucky Oaks Day, if you like the horse racing, so there's a lot to handicap and watch throughout the day today and tomorrow. I just handed out to some of the Action Sports Jax folks the Superfecta tickets. They're excited about it.
Yep.
Some have already thought that they lost. Dave Wax thought he lost. Listen, we did quick picks on the I don't know if some of them have already been scratched or out. Maybe you can return to the window. But hopefully someone has a winner. Again, $320,000 was the winner of the Superfecta last year for $1. These are $2 tickets.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Big spender, high roller over here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the type of guy that's probably going to win it and then lose the ticket or something in my pocket. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep track of this, Brent.
I am convinced that could happen.
Yeah, for sure. You should be.
You absolutely is right.
Real quick.
Just keep it in that big phone of yours.
Well, yeah, you know. Real quick. So the posts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, all this.
Yeah.
Is there like an ideal starting? Like, do they put like the best horse at 1, like the second best horse at 2, or not?
No, it's random draw.
Random draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
So random draw, and then there are some. I don't know what like the latest and greatest thought process is.
Oh man,
I love when people are getting excited.
Oh man, we have trust funds on the line right now.
we have
college funds on the line right now, everybody. I don't know. All right.
Or college tuition's paid off.
Hopefully. Yeah.
But so anyway, what happens? That's random draw, and used to be like you didn't want the one spot right on the rail.
Yeah.
And then, gosh, I forget. Was that Giacomo or? Might have been Giacomo that ended up winning on the rail, and it was like, hey, now you can win from the rail. Like no Derby had won from the rail.
Yeah.
But I think in the middle, because here's what happens. If you have someone on 17, 18, 19, 20 way out there, they've got to cut off a lot of real estate to get back in the race right off the rip.
Yeah.
So they're actually going a long way.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, shouldn't there be like some kind of qualifying, like where, like in the Olympics where, hey, if you're a sprinter, you get in that 4 or 5 lane and you're good to go.
Yeah, I think it's just, I'm trying to think of another sport that's so luck of the draw. I mean, in many respects, it could be like the NBA lottery, right? Like you can be the worst team, but you're not necessarily going to get the number one pick.
But you can kind of rig it to who you want. I mean, come on, LeBron's going to the Cleveland Cavs. Yeah, okay, got it.
Well, I don't know what they do in horse racing.
Yeah, right?
I think the problem, I believe, with having like a system in place is that not all the horses that enter the Derby are on equal ground of how they got there.
Yeah,
right?
there's different qualifying
That's
things.
it.
Yeah,
so you're not going to – everybody's on a different timeline, you know. So obviously they're all 3 years old, but they're on a different timeline. So I think that must be part of it. I don't know. I don't know the origin of that. I probably should know the origin of that a little bit more. But anyway, I think if you're way on the outside – I think you're up against it a little bit.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you can't do it, but I think you're up against it a little bit. The other thing you got to keep an eye on now that I got these tickets a day in advance is who scratches.
Yeah,
right. Because it can be the craziest little thing.
Yeah.
That gets you to scratch in a horse race. Hey, what's going into the weekend here? We were just talking about we got the Magic tonight. Do you think they win and force Game 7, or the Cavs the team to beat?
I think it could be an interesting game. I'm not going to slip on the Magic here. You can go Game 7.
All right, Game 7 that would be pretty nice. Be a big win for the Magic to get a series win, kind of.
Be huge.
Start rolling.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they could do that.
Yes.
Game 6 tonight, by the way, in Orlando. Meanwhile, you've got 3-2 Vancouver leads. The Predators in hockey. Those guys will play tonight in Game 6. And also Dallas leads Las Vegas 3-2. Anything catching your attention in the hockey playoff?
Well, I mean, Vancouver they're ready to sell their whole organization like last year, fire everybody, and now they're in the playoffs, like trying to make a run. It's a pretty big turnaround for the Vancouver Canucks.
We also already talked about it, Boston-Toronto, Game 7.
Yes.
That could be a collapse again by the Bruins. It would be a huge win for Toronto to kind of upset what they've been.
Yeah, it could be a collapse from the Bruins, and it could also. I mean, either way, it's great. It's a great storyline for me because either the Bruins collapse or the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. So you can't lose either way, Brent. It's a win-win.
Quick update on all the other sports, including baseball. By the way, the Orioles have taken the lead in the AL East by a couple of games. Really just one game over the New York Yankees, but 2 in the loss column. The Cleveland Guardians in first place over Kansas City. Nice little surprise team right now, the Royals, in the Central. Seattle and Texas right there leading the West. The surprise, again, is the Astros, just 11 wins. The Braves in first place over the Philadelphia Phillies by just a half a game, and then there's some separation in the NL East.
Let's go to the
Central. We get to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Let's go to your Milwaukee Brewers, everybody.
I feel like we've done a show together. We did it on ESPN for 3 years, and now we're into a few months. I feel like in the time frame that we've been on the show, the Brewers have been in first place about 90% of that time.
Yeah, man, it's just we're accustomed to be. I say we're like I'm part of the team now, but when Craig Counsell left, I had to be. We're in first place, Brent. I mean, a gritty team. They've had some major injuries. Christian Yelich has been out, right? He's got those back spasms. Devin Williams has been out as well. They're a big closer. They're just finding ways to win, and I'll be honest, man, I did not expect their bats to come alive like they have. Like, you think of Brewers, you think of two things. You think of catching, and you think of pitching. And they have arguably the best catcher in the game right now in Contreras. He's been on fire, leading the team in batting average, I think, and then home runs still, if I'm not mistaken. But their pitching has been okay. The batting, though, has been unreal, which I didn't see happening. A big series this weekend, though, playing on the Cubs in Craig Council.
Hamby's sitting over here listening to you like, man, that guy really is a Brewers fan. Like, he really knows the Brewers. He ain't faking it.
Yeah.
He's a really Milwaukee guy.
Well, I mean, not only do I know the Brewers, and I know the whole division. How are the Reds doing?
The Reds are in third place at 16-50.
Yeah, we are who they thought they were.
You can tell me more about the Brewers than I can tell you about the Red Sox. Although the Red Sox have performed nicely.
Yeah.
So far this year, I will say that expectations were low. They're 19-14 or 18-14.
I mean, are you guys ready to pay up on your bet though? Because we made a bet in terms of the handicap expectations.
So we're not even
teams.
close.
I feel like the Brewers already got that number.
No, you and I were about the same. It was like 82 wins. 81.5 wins or something.
Yeah. And Hamby needs like, 120 or something?
Yeah, Hamby needs to win like every game that's ever played.
120 wins? Okay, yeah.
They probably are underpacing right now through 30 games compared to where they should be. But now they look like they're about right on the money. The one thing I do like always looking at the worst team in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And the Colorado Rockies are catching the White Sox. White Sox have 6 wins. The Rockies have just 7.
Well, and let me just say, too, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch the Pittsburgh Pirates continue to be the Pittsburgh. Because I was nervous. The Pittsburgh Pirates were one of the hottest teams in baseball.
They got off to a great start.
Got off to a fantastic white-hot start, and then now they've kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit.
All right, Nick at noon, or Nick in the daytime, whatever one you like. Maybe we should ask him. We got to take a break so we can come back and put a bow on the show with a little NBA slam poetry to end things here at Bet St Augustine. We'll get one more in, and then we'll come back and head into the weekend. Don't forget, by the way, 1 o'clock baseball game at the Jumbo Shrimp today and tomorrow because of the Luke Combs concert downtown. Flagler just chilling out with us here at Best Bet St. Augustine. I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnicht Buick GMC. My family and the Nimnicht family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnicht Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnicht Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids. Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains and no payments for 90 days. Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program. Nimnicht Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We know that at our home. You can find out as well. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? Well, CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242, cgcwater.com. Financing options are available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
It's the fishing tournament everyone wants to get in, and it's time for you to register. More than 650 boats entered last summer in the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin. Mark the calendar now, June 8th. This is fun for the entire family, and everyone has a chance to win big. Limited boundaries, no bait buying, no checkout. Cash prizes for the top 25 places, cash prizes for the top 10 lady anglers, and prizes for the top 15 junior anglers. The grand prize, this Yellowfin Bay boat with a 200 horsepower Yamaha and Ameritrail trailer. The value, over $100,000. It's the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout. Early entry until the end of May is open and $250. If you don't catch the big one, don't worry. Just catch any size kingfish and have a chance to win $10,000 with the Nimnik Lucky Ticket. OldSchoolKingfish.com. Register early until May 31st at OldSchoolKingfish.com.
New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martinos get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza. Every piece is important.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, take a look at some of the folks here at Best Bet St. Augustine as that group came down from Best Bet in Jacksonville here on this Friday and hanging out with us, hanging out here in St. Augustine off 311 and also hanging out on Kentucky Derby weekend where a big party is ready to go. Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, we got like 2 minutes to go, so you got a 2-minute version of NBA Slam Poetry.
Put me against the clock a little bit. All right, we got the music ready to go?
Oh, look at him. He's on it.
Yeah, all right.
He's on it.
Get those buttons ready. All right. NBA Slam Poetry, bing bong, Knicks are white hot, no simmer, they are a boil. Jalen is him. Jalen is a boss, the best Brunson since Doyle. We're at a poker room, figure it out.
Oh.
Doyle Brunson? Never heard of him?
No.
Texas Dolly. Everybody know Texas Dolly? Okay, wow, man. Bucks are out. They were never in it, never committed, didn't have 10 toes down. Sorry we're closed. That's what needs to be said if you're an owner, if Brent Martineau or Doc Rivers come around.
Oh. 10 o'clock doesn't mean 10 o'clock at a restaurant.
The Lakers got bounced, not even hating LeBron, still one of the best alive. I'm not talking about LeBron the player, because as a GM, it's like Trent Baalke trying to pick rounds 3 through 5.
Easy on Trent.
Just
got a Venmo payment coming in.
Good. Just not that good. B-Talk had all the fans tripping. Check it out back in our pod. Forget six-packs dropping 35 points makes you a trendsetter. So shout out to Luka. Give me that dad bod.
Oh, dad bod for Luka for sure. It looks like he's even getting more of a dad bod.
Don't let him get one. Well, Jimmy, Boston got 4, giving up 41 in the first quarter. The Heat are worse at bouncing than the guy who let Hamby's dad walk through that door. And the last but not least, have a great Derby weekend. Hope you cash in all your bets. Hey, Milwaukee, it's been 16 hours. How is Doc Rivers still employed yet?
Wow, you're really killing Doc, man.
Yep, absolutely, man.
He had no players.
Hey, we have expectations in Milwaukee, Brent, and those expectations were not reached. Go ahead and bring your playbook. Good luck on your future endeavors.
It's going to be an awesome weekend here at Best Bet St. Augustine, Kentucky Derby weekend all day today and tomorrow. Make sure you come down, have a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging with us today on a Friday, and back at it Monday on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. You can find us on ActionNewsJax.com and the Action News Jax app as well. Happy birthday to Steph as well.
Happy birthday, Steph.